Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. We are live streaming, so I just wanted to make sure that we are listening and the sound is on. So I have a few people let me know, but I'm going to just cruise through. And here we go with our live show tonight. And again, our first time really live streaming it. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And I just want to make sure that everything is working. So let me just make sure I see it, and I'm just checking things out and seeing what's happening here. So here we go. I think it's all good, so we should be rocking and rolling. Few messages came in, so I just wanted to make sure it was all good right there. And here we go. What a red market today, but we didn't really care about that too much because we had it coming down. We knew it was happening. That was perfectly fine. Wasn't worrying about that. And then we still hit the poppers. Whichever one that one ran like crazy today. I had it just written down. What was that? RGC. RGC went nutty today. We mentioned that last night and put a couple dots next to it, and we were talking about it, and it looked really good. So here we go. Let's get cruising here. Yeah, that thing was up like 235%. I think it even went higher. RGC. Let me see where it ran to. Let's look at that one first because that was crazy right there. RGC, and let's see right here. And cool. Luis Rodriguez said he could hear me. A few other people. So perfect. Ghetto Stoic said he was in YouTube. So appreciate everybody hanging out. And thank you very much. Let me know what you guys think too of the first live stream if you guys like it. And here we go. So let me switch right over and then let's get rocking and rolling here. RGC, check this thing out, guys. Opened at 434. We were talking about it last night. It was looking good, trying to get moving right there. And it ran all the way up to 1650. It's at 1172 right now. And yeah, what a popper that one was right there. And obviously, we mentioned it last night and had it all marked up there. So we have hit 100%ers the last 3 nights with no problem at all. And the market's been red, and we knew that the SPY and everything was coming down. So we haven't had an issue one bit. So here we go. Let's get cruising through this list. And that was RGC. And again, here's OCEA. We've been looking at this thing. It pulled back like a penny here, and it did have a nice dip. And I'm thinking maybe it's that dip and rip look. We'll take a look at it tomorrow morning, of course, 8 to 7. And it is down here. I think it's under 7. Yeah, this thing rounds up, but if you look up here, it tells us the exact price, and it is at 0.067 right there. So it is under 7 cents, and it is a nice dip there. So I would expect it. And here you have your hard line coming down. It's trying to get set up right there. So yeah, being patient on these things definitely pays. It was really looking good right there. Tried to jump up, and I'm telling you, this market is just killing these things. So have to be super, super patient and make sure you see these things actually curling up because look at this thing over the MACD, and it hasn't really got a chance to roll off it. So just showing you what I look at. And for those of you that have never checked out the YouTube channel or anything, I do post the videos, sometimes not the exact same day, but I definitely post them. And yeah, this is what it looks like when I rock and roll through the charts, and I'll just cruise right on through. Tonight's a little smaller of a list, not too much smaller. So I will just rock and roll right through all these stock charts, pick out what looks good, and we find the poppers. And again, anyone that's listening for the first time, we do not recommend, and I don't recommend anything, honestly. I just tell you what I see and what looks good. But my experience is do not jump into these things early. You stay patient, but you just pick the ones that you want to focus on. You're not trying to trade them all. We go through a huge list. It's a beautiful watch list to make. There's a lot of different ones. There's penny stocks, big caps, Mag 7 we do, and we pick out the ones that are going to be rocking and rolling. You want to have your list. You want to see where your bottoms are on these things and what you want to be looking at, and then you approach them. So I know we go through a lot, but you don't want to even trade all these. You just want to kind of go through them. And as we go through the charts, I'll go through things and you'll start to pick up patterns and stuff. Again, we have this pattern down, and I hopped on the Wolf Show today. It was a great show on there today. The dude Jay Woods is an awesome technical guy. I was talking to him, and yeah, it's just a crazy market right now, guys. And these technical things, you can just see how these are really standing out. Obviously, we're still hitting 100%ers and picking the market, and there's why I say like the fundamentals don't really mean as much. This is exactly why. So you'll start to see these patterns and things that I notice, and I'll be pointing them out here. So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing the live streaming, and I think we're going to be cruising and crushing this market. Laptop Travel said it looks good. Appreciate that, and that's awesome. So yeah, I do get a little feed up here. I don't know. I think that's from. I guess it gives me both feeds. That's pretty sweet if it does that. So let me post a comment and see. Here we go. Let's see. All right, and then we'll get cruising here. So I just posted something. I guess it went out on YouTube. I have no idea. I'll mess around with this thing more, but we'll get cruising through this and see what's going on. So here we go. We're going to rock and roll through this list. I do post out the list. Anyone new listening, I post out the list on StockTwits and X. So you can follow along. It's a perfect watch list. Each night we do this show every night at 9 p.m., 7 a.m. We do the pre-market show, and we do pick out the poppers. So here we go. Let's rock and roll, everybody. Buru, B-U-R-U. This one was just kind of running around today. It's sitting right at that 20, though, but I think it is getting ready, guys. I am surprised that OCEA didn't run yet, and I was surprised to see it pull back a little bit more today. But maybe it is that dip and rip look that we do like to see. And again, the patience pays off a lot on these, especially these penny ones. But here's Buru looking good, trying to get back up to this 20. It does look like it's going to try to do it tomorrow. And I would say Buru looks pretty healthy to try to move. It's rolling off that MACD, just a little flat today as it hits it, but it should try to get up there. And again, some of these penny ones will look much better than the big caps. As the big caps pull down and the Mag 7 and all them get pulled down, the money transfers into some of these, and you get some awesome poppers out of them. Obviously, we've been seeing them. And here's BHAT. Someone said it was reverse splitting coming up. Yep, they did announce it. And let's see what day it is, because I didn't even look. Monday, March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day on Monday. So BHAT is reverse splitting, so you only have tomorrow to literally get out of it or trade it early. And I guess it's not going to get rolling off that MACD. It was pulling back, but we know the day before the reverse split, it's usually not popping up that day. They usually pull them down and dilute the hell out of it. So it did try to get moving. It wasn't a great spot. It popped up right there, got almost to the 50. So what day was that right there? March 11th. And that was a wrap for it. Then they said, we'll take that money and then reverse split it, dilute it down a little bit. And here you go, 1 for 100. So that's what happened with BHAT. And we'll keep an eye on it after reverse split, because we do love them and they love to get set up. This Wint's a good example of it right here. As we pop on one, just had a reverse split. This one's taken a little longer. The market has been a little shaky, so I can see why, but it is trying to get set up here. Let's see, WINT. And here we go. It went 202 to 215. It's at 210 right there. So, yeah, not looking bad. And it's in the basement, just flat curling up. So it should try to leg itself up a little bit. I don't know if it's really popping hardcore, but maybe it will try to. We'll see if it tries to get curling up there. And then, obviously, when it hits this basement floor right here, it's going to, base out. They've been having a hard time getting through. A few of them did yesterday, as a matter of fact, but it was as they were curling up. So you got to catch them on them 2 days where they're curling up to the MACD before they're going to hit it and crash back down like they did today. And exactly what we knew was going to happen. So again, we just have that pattern down. SDOT right here, SDOT. Let's see. This thing is actually pulling back. It was looking great right there. Now we might see a little bit of pullback. It was trying to get through, and even as good as that looked yesterday, trying to bust through there, look at that. It couldn't do it today. And let's blow that up right here, SDOT. Look at that thing. That's a beautiful chart right there too, right here, coming off of there, and just kind of got shot right down. So I would have to say that SDOT should have went up, to be honest with you. And we'll look at it tomorrow, but I don't know, because once it hits that and pulls back, we kind of know they do pull back and stay under there. I'm not saying it has to, but it may stay down. The good thing is it has good support down here at 275, so it shouldn't go too low, but we will see what it's up to. And maybe it gets curled back up tomorrow. But yeah, that's how quick they can change. I mean, look at that. Beautiful, bad, boom, right there. So obviously, I mean, it's not terrible, but it could pull back on us, and they do change around fast in these volatile markets. So but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll get running. It just may have to pull back to get set back up. And here's another one we've been watching. And this thing, look at this thing, guys. This thing runs up like crazy sometimes. UOKA. And it's coming back down a little bit, and it does look like it's trying to get pushed down a hair. Let me take a look at it because it was really setting up the other day. Come on here. There it is. Yeah, it's hitting that 20. It's got to get up over this, guys. Remember, I was talking about it's at 16 cents, and I was saying maybe it's at like 17, get it there, because now it's like basically right over 16 cents. It's hitting that line right there. It hasn't been able to push through. It got through the other day, but not really good. Didn't have the momentum. It has to really keep that momentum going in, and then it can get up to this 15 and get cruising. And that channel's small, so once it gets in there, it should be quick. And we know, look at it. Look at these pop-ups it has. Well, we knew this was happening. It was in a great spot. And again, it's set up to be in a great spot. And again, it'll do it again. So just look at it, watch and see if you have any pullbacks. That's what we always do. We look for these low prices right here, and you can kind of see that. Let's look at it. That low is down here at like your 14-cent area. So if you see anything come down there today, it didn't get down that low. Hasn't really got down there. It got to 15. So that's what you're looking for, guys. And you just keep an eye on them. And obviously, like I was saying, you're not trying to trade them all. You're picking out the ones that you really like and the ones that fit your trading style too. There's a lot of different trading styles. Everyone has something unique, or we all have a different life that we have to go by. So you can't be looking at penny stocks all day and this and that. So you do have to kind of, trade to what works for you. And so that's at UOKA and CRVO. We looked at it, and again, this thing. Well, this was the other one that was a monster this morning. We looked at this. The other one was whatever that thing. I keep forgetting what it was. Holy cow! RGC. I keep forgetting what that name is. RGC. I might have to write it down so I don't forget. But yeah, that thing ran like crazy today. CRVO ran crazy this morning. I remember. Remember we were looking at it last night. We had it popped up yesterday too. But we said, look at it for a momentum play. It was still up in that top area, and it still is. And honestly, it got over a support line. I can't promise you it's going to run some more tomorrow, but it could try to run up again in the morning. It went 567 to 831, and it's at 586 right now. So again, it did close back down, and yesterday it ran up to 742. So it definitely ran up higher today, and we'll see what it can do tomorrow. It is up in the top still. We'll see how much it wants to pull back. Some of these have been pulling back when they stay up here and get really running again. They have to pull back a day or two, and then they get cruising. So we'll look for that. But that was a nice pop-up right there on CRVO. And LAC, this was down a little bit today, and I think it might be pulling back just for that setup. And look, ran up the last few days, comes back, and then it just tries to base out, pulls back. Look where it's coming down on your MACD. It's not going to cross down. Once these are over like this, they roll off. So it's going to come down here and then get set up and roll off. As it's coming down, they do pull back. Look at that beautiful setup it's coming up to. So LAC will just watch us pull back a hair more and catch it, because it's going to roll off and have a nice setup when it does it. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on. It's not going to be tomorrow, but we're definitely going to be watching this for next week, because tomorrow is Friday. So, and that's exactly what we do here. We just make this watch list, keep an eye on them for next week, tomorrow, which one's going to be popping, try to time them out. The timing's a little messed up right now, but that's okay. We can still see them for the most part. So awesome on that. And cool. I see a bunch of people. I do see the X and everything. So awesome. This is great right here. And I see Laptop Travels posted, and ANUJ. I'll look at Hood for sure, and HII, Luis Rodriguez. So this is perfect. Laptop Travel. So this is 1,000 times better presentation for Team Doug. Great live video, LMT. So that works, guys. This works out perfect. I'll have to keep the StreamYard and say that I like it, because it is pretty cool and easy. And there we go. I couldn't figure out how to use anything else, that's for sure. I tried a bunch of other things, and this one seemed like it actually worked. So I'm kind of happy about that. That's for damn sure. So aim, let's look at this thing. We want it to aim up. Like it is aiming down right now. Look at that 20 came down. A lot of these charts honestly changed around, and we're just going to look for these quick pops now. I really don't think the market's really changing at the moment or in the next week or so. So we're going to be continuing to look at them come down, but we're going to have them quick pop-ups. And now that's exactly what we're looking at, them opportunities. And the other days you're shorting it down. And then we'll have our 100% poppers because these penny ones in certain setups, and it isn't a lot. So you got to be very, very nitpicky. And you can see we go through a ton of them, and I really just like put certain marks on them. And I tell you kind of which ones are looking good. And by the end of the show, we run through a bunch that look really good there. So yeah, their charts are changing really quick on us, and it's perfectly fine. You just have to be super patient. And again, you're just focusing on like one stock at a time right now. You don't want to be jumping around into a bunch of them. You will get toasted right now. They are way too volatile, and not unless you're kind of shorting them all down. But you don't even want to do that. Just focus on one because it's an options play and short it down if you're confident. So that's what you're looking at in the market. And again, you just have to be able to play the market conditions no matter what they present to you. There's always opportunities, as you guys can see. Doesn't matter, and I say it can go up, down, backward, sideways, do a backflip. We don't care. We actually prepared for this 3 months ago and knew it was going to happen. And I think the hardcore listeners, Laptop Travel and crew, Luis Rodriguez and them, they know we're 3 months early before everything, and without a problem. But again, you have to time out everything nice. And just because you can see it 3 months early, you still have to trade things smart and look at it that way. So we try to keep the right mindset as well. And especially when this market's going down, it's a beautiful thing to be able to come out winners every single day. So LRHC, let's look at it and we'll really get cruising here. This one ran up a little bit today. And I think if the market wasn't so terrible for this, it would try to get cruising over that 20. You can see it was hitting it today, and it may try to get over tomorrow. It says it got up to, it closed at 22. I saw it did pull back a little bit, but not much today. Yeah, it looked pretty solid. We'll see. And they've been hitting that 20 and pulling back. So that's the kind of look. And it did go a little flat there. I'll look at it in tomorrow. But again, we just kind of know they hit that 20. If they can't break through it that day, or as they're getting that curl up on the SPY, and some of these pennies are different, but I don't know. It just hit that 20 and died out. So I'm not positive it's going to go through there. We just have to stick with our pattern that we know works for us, because it's definitely been working for us. We can't argue that. OCGN, and here we go at our little pullback. That's our bottom down here, probably 51. It could pull back some more, and it's fine. We want these to come down, and then honestly, we're either going to get a great pop or this whole chart's going to change around. And we've been talking about it for a few weeks. We probably started watching it up here somewhere, knowing that it's going to pull back. We're just waiting for it to be in that perfect spot, and we could see this chart completely change. So, and you can almost see it's going to happen. You see your 20 is going to come, curl back up. All these are going to come and move the other direction. So that caught my eye back here, guys. And that's when we started really looking at it. And again, we just go through it each night just because we're just keeping an eye on it. It's not crossed up. We know that pullback, and I just have a feeling just by looking at this that it's going to change, and we catch it all the way at the bottom and it runs up. It's going to be a really nice run up on it. So that's why, and there's a ton of them now, but we were kind of looking at this before. Maybe it was like way back here we were looking at, because it's been a little while. It's been on our list, and that's the reason why we're looking at that one, because we're just waiting for that reversal. And HEPA, this one took a nice dip again today. I mean, this one crossed down. I didn't even notice that, actually. Let's see that. Yeah, it's just kind of, it crossed down the other day. It never really got back up. It was going to like try to pull itself up. It never did. Yeah, I don't know. This thing is right there where it should try to bounce through. But again, we just know these things don't like to do it. And look at that nice dip right there. I mean, that is a pretty dip. I like it. And let's see if it dips down a little bit more tomorrow, honestly, because it doesn't have that real look, and it could bounce up. I mean, these things could do anything at any time, but it doesn't necessarily have it, because when they start to curl curl. It would really kind of need that extra curl or be really kind of hidden in there to kind of bounce off. Generally, that's what you'll look at. So yeah, it just doesn't have that look for me right now for HEPA that it really wants to get rocking and rolling. And CYCU, let's see this guy. This one curled through, and look. I'll just show you the pattern right here, guys. We knew it was hopping up right there. It was like 3 days out. Look at this thing. Ready? I'll count it out for you. It was right there as the day it popped up from like 86. It went up over $1. It says 97 here, but this doesn't do the after hours so well. And but yeah, ready? One. Oh, I just went too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! Right there, hits the line on 5 and tries to cross through. And remember, we're like 3 days out. We're saying they're right there. So as they start curling up, that's when you get that pop. And then as they cross through, they're still kind of pulling back. We've seen this look before. It's not the first pattern that this has ever happened. So it definitely happens. And you know when it happens? When the charts are running all crazy. That's when this kind of pattern happens. So we know what to look for on that big fish hook too. And that's a big fish hook guys that are hooking up. They pop up at just that one day, and you just got to time them out right. And they kind of give you that look. We knew this one was popping up that day. A few other ones, of course, you're not going to hit every single one. I'm not even going to say we ever come close to it, but yeah, we get pretty close. And Adobe, remember what we said last night? I'll say we knew it was coming down. Remember, we were looking at it and it was trying to get cruising, but that 20 was coming down, and they had their earnings. It did pop up in the after hours, and then it got crushed there. So yeah, Adobe got smashed today. It was down like $60. Remember, here it is. It ran up in the after hour. See, Finviz doesn't even show it here. So this is you guys can, now that you guys are watching live, check it out. Here's our Finviz from yesterday, 436 to 443. It closed at 438. Now watch where this went. 436 to 456, and it closed at that 420 because remember, it took that smoke break yesterday, and I said it took a smoke break and it's coming down like $60 it came. So that was pretty impressive right there. And yeah, it just got smoked. It ran up real quick, and then again, you can just see, look at this thing. I'll blow it up for you. Look, came through, popped up right there. We already know it's going to be like a 4-banger before it gets through that thing. These things are just coming down, guys. And again, we went through it a million times. It's not even that bad of a thing. Obviously, people at long positions are getting smacked, but we're doing perfectly fine because we look at these bottoms, and this one went right into the basement too. That's nice. We'll look for a little bounce on it tomorrow. It could have a little bounce. I don't know if it's going to be popping, but it could, after a $60 drop off and getting into the basement, could have a little tiny bounce tomorrow. So we should keep an eye on Adobe. And here we go. Let's look at LG Logic Mark. This was trying to move around a little bit as well. Let me see, because I think it was in the morning. I don't remember what it was doing. 18 to 19, then came back down. Yeah, it was up in the morning, and then it came back down. Yesterday, it was closed at that 19. I know it was right up there, and this thing's getting set back up. So we'll keep an eye on Logic Mark, and it is just jumping around. Look at it down here. So another one, check it out, just running up, and they just run flat. They pull back. You can find the bottoms down here and around 16 cents. So you just watch this thing. If it dips back down some more tomorrow, and it'll get set up, but it's not ready just yet, but it will bounce around while it gets set up. So again, you pick out the ones that you like, you find the prices that you need them at, and that's what you do. You play them, and you're not trying to play a million of them, because you just can't do it, especially in this market. You can't even do it in like solid markets, let alone this market. DGLY was looking good, and this thing was up a little bit today right there, 8 to 9. And it is it over? Nah, it's at like 8 cents. Yeah, it's at 8 cents, somewhere's in that area. But this thing's trying to push that envelope right there. So we got to see. I would watch this tomorrow, because this thing can get right up over here, and that's where they like to bounce off. Look at it, flat on that line down there, looking pretty good. If it gets over this 20, guys, and it has that momentum, it could do it. So watch this thing, especially early in the morning, DGLY, and it could move. And there hasn't been a whole lot of them that look great for tomorrow. being a Friday after this week. And so, yeah, I didn't expect anything to be too crazy for tomorrow, but DGLY not looking bad right there. We'll keep an eye on that. PLUG, that was down a penny. Wasn't really doing a whole lot right here and just kind of might pull back a little bit as it comes back down. Again, they just dip down and then they roll off the MACD. It's controlled by the 20 right here. They all kind of are. And it's all a simple pattern at this point that we have picked out. I mean, they all have a little bit of a different look or pattern to them, but it's all kind of similar to me, and it's real easy to see what's going on. Icon was up today 4 cents. We were looking at that and knew it was rolling up. And again, look at these things. When they're coming off the MACD after they pull back like that, you can see them rolling up. I mean, it just happens almost every time. And there was that dip and rip yesterday for that Icon. We were talking about that. That's why I said it about OCEA today. Look at this thing. That's a nice dip and rip. Now look at Icon, what that just did. Look where them charts are right there, guys. Now, this one was curling down a little bit more, OCEA, but this one's almost in a really good spot. And then look at how Icon was. That one doesn't even have your trend line. It has your 20, and look how it came up. So kind of similar on that dip and rip look right there. And again, a lot of the charts are similar. So that's why you look at these things. And OCEA, again, you want to look at it after today's dip right there. And there's Icon running up. And you want to look at this to see if it can even try to get out of the basement. It's been in there a little bit, but they generally don't get out. But this could try to get up to that 20 there. So we'll see. It could have a little pop up tomorrow, Icon. So keep an eye on it because it's got some has some room right there to move. So that's your ICON right there. And COEP, we've been looking at this bad boy and we didn't think it was going up just yet. And yeah, it's going to come down. And here's your look, guys. Here's your pattern coming down. They get all exciting when they get right here. They look like they want to pop. And then the next thing you know, look at how they come down. And this thing's going to continue its way down. You'll probably see it right down here in the 850s real soon. So it'll drop under this 50. It'll get over to here. And that's just what they do. And I don't even have to look at a second chart, but I can tell you by looking at it, you can see it's going to pull back and get under that 50. So this thing's going to push it down right there. And that's COEP. So that one does look like it's coming down. CETX got out of the basement yesterday, just kind of flattened out, but was impressive. And we were watching that one to get out of the basement, and it did it. So that was nice. And now we're going to have to find another new one. And I'm sure there's going to be a ton of them that we can find that have been in the basement for a while because we always find one ALLR, ADTX, and now CETX. But CETX just got out. So now we got to find our next one. And CETX didn't even get to run that big because the market's just all jammed up right now. But it is a little pullback. It will get set up to run a little higher. So just watch that pullback right there, and possibly we'll look at it tomorrow. I don't know if it'll get set up for tomorrow, but it could. And how about Clue is trying to crawl up here, and maybe it had its pullback. And again, these things, they look like they're going to get running. Look where it's at. It's running up here. It's all the way in the basement, not deep, but it's just been running that line. They usually can pop off, but they haven't been lately. So we'll look at Clue. It just had that look today, like it was trying to do something. So we'll see. It has to get over here. Like that's yeah, that didn't get all the way up there. But it just has to get moving, really, is what it has to do. But yeah, I thought that 20 was down a little further, but it's definitely not. It looks like it is, but it's way up there. Okay, it's at like $4. I thought it was like right here at like 2 something, and you could see it wasn't. But yeah, this thing just has to get moving. It ran up a little bit today and needs to keep that momentum going. It has some space there. It just doesn't look like there's much, but there is definitely space. So I'll look at Clue tomorrow, CLEU, see what that wants to do. And speaking of ADTX, look at that basement runner right here, right there, all the way. And we watched this thing forever, and it just came out not too long ago. We watched it pop. We got it to pop up there. And look at that dip right there. It was trying to set up, to be honest with you. And then you got a nice dip on it today. It was dipping a little. It was trying to run up yesterday and pull back, and then 3 to 4. It's back to 3 cents right now. But watch it, guys. Look at it. Look where it wants to do. It wants to roll off that MACD after that pullback. So we'll see if it tries to do it tomorrow. It's hitting that bottom. That's where they like to do it. They like to dip down and do stuff like this. So that's what you're looking for nonstop. And There you go at ADTX, SYTA. Let me type it in right and we'll be better. SYTA just pulling back. This one was actually not looking bad right here. I know it wasn't. And then it had that look like it was trying to do something, maybe bounce off that bottom. And maybe yesterday was the bottom, but you can't confirm it because now it's trying to get into the bottom. So yeah, it's just kind of running around down here. It's not a huge pullback here, but it is over, and we'll see if it can get curled up. It did pull back there. It opened at 225, ran up 10 cents, came down. It's at 213 right now. I'll take a look at that one, SYTA, and see if it does want to get rolling there. And Rhyme, I did have Rhyme on the list. Someone said I didn't, and I did. They must have. I didn't remember writing it down, but there you go. And it was. Remember yesterday we were talking about looking good, getting into that spot. There you go. It did run up. I thought I had it on the list because I know we talked about it last night, and this thing's probably going to be your runner tomorrow, guys. And it was today. We had this one as a runner today, and 210 to 268. It closed at 247, so keep your eyes on Rhyme for tomorrow because that's looking good. That should keep that momentum, I would assume. So we will look at Rhyme in the morning, RIME there. And let's look at HIT because it took a major hit yesterday and took more of a hit. We were just looking at it to see if it could bounce this morning. And I actually looked at it. It definitely wasn't bouncing. I know that. It opened at 138 and got to 145, not really bouncing. It came way down, and it closed yesterday at 135, so it wasn't like gapping up or anything crazy. And yeah, it took a big old hit, that Health in Tech right there, and we'll just have to watch it. It's in the basement. We'll see when it wants. It's probably going to have this big old curl up, guys, so it may take a little while. And yeah, HIT took a major hit, but if it does want to get set up, we'll be all over it. It'll have to be quick, so we'll definitely know. That's why we're looking at it. If not, we can try to let it go for a little bit and then we'll come back to it because, like I said, it could take a little while, but we'll look at that in the next week. VLCN, that Volcon, this was on our list for a little while, trying to pop up the other day. We were just seeing if it wanted to get any more steam again as that 20 was coming down. It was touching it today, but it wasn't breaking through. So we'll have to look at this tomorrow and see. I think it may have to pull back now. It couldn't keep it, but it was trying to, and you can see it trying. And again, it looks like it wants to pull back on us. So we'll look at that VLCN right there. And TAN, TANH, TAN, or whatever the heck you call it, is like a Chinese company, I think. What is it? Tantech, that's it. I couldn't think of the name. Getting to be in a really good spot. I know it pulled back today. Watch and see if it pulls back a little bit tomorrow, and then this thing possibly next week. But you can see it's getting to be in a really good spot right here. Has your lines and your 20s right there. So it's trying to push it, and we'll see. Maybe it'll bounce off of here and get cruising. So I'll keep an eye on TANH. And let's see what that one wants to do. And Adobe, we looked at, had a beautiful dip right there. And we thought it was going to, and it did. So we liked that dip. And I don't think Adobe liked it, but anyone that was shorting it down loved $60 dip right there. And Gold Barrick, this one honestly didn't look like it wanted to push through yesterday, but it did because gold is so strong right now. Check this thing out. And look, even gold isn't crossing through. It may get a pullback because look at this setup. I assumed it was going to come back into this channel and try to get set up. Maybe it just popped up today. We'll look at it tomorrow and see. I still don't think it can even get through, but maybe it will. It is gold, and gold is pretty hot right now. So we will take a look at that. And how about AUST? Because it's Austin Gold Corp, and we'll see that one's up over there too. And look at them. Look at them charts looking so similar. Look at that. I mean, that's crazy. They're almost exactly the same on your gold charts. GOLD, and they're not. I mean, they're both Canadian gold companies, but not the same thing. But yeah, looking good. Don't get me wrong, and looking very similar as well. And we always like when that happens. You know they're going to be popping real soon. Let these guys set up. Like I said, it's right there. And we'll catch gold. Even though it's been running up, we'll have a little setup period, and it looks like it's going to get up even more. And that TTD pulled back like $6. We were looking at it last night. Looked like it tried to bottom out. Maybe that's a little dip and rip because, look, it's coming up to that MACD on that big fish hook. It never got that run in. and it could just look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to move. And if not, it's definitely pulling back. You can see it. It's just like intertwined right there. And sometimes these get that pop. So this one's been pulling back pretty good. And we'll look at this one, Luis Rodriguez, and see if it can go. If not, it's going to really get hammered down there. So if it doesn't get popping tomorrow, we know to pretty much short that one right down, and it'll be going down there. So PRPH, let's look at Prophase Labs. And this thing's not looking too bad rolling off. And here you go as they pop up. And then they roll down, and then they try to roll back up right here and get moving. It tries to get into this channel. It will, too. Watch this thing because it's getting set up. Has to get up into that 48-cent area, and you'll be looking real good right there for PRPH. It's getting in there. You can see this 20, and when this 20s and 50s are meeting right now, it's shooting them off like rockets. So that will be a good one to keep an eye on. And again, might not be tomorrow, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on for next week, if not. So we will definitely be watching PRPH and ANVS. This was looking good yesterday, and it was down a little today. I usually go through the list and see them. This was more flat than anything today. ANVS, let's see, 170 to 178, came down to 161. It closed at 172. Yeah, I saw it when it was kind of near where it opened at some point. I don't remember what time, but it is kind of moving up there. You could get some movement up into this 195 area right there, a little flat right there. And again, it's going to hit that spot and kind of come back. So you just know they're trying as they roll up, and this one does look like it could be pulling back, and then it'll have to, and you can see it. Look, as they go up, go up, and as they come back down, they go back down, and then they'll go back up. They're real easy to read right now, and they're not going through, and they're pulling back. So it's pretty simple. You just stick with that pattern, and you can pretty much nail them. STI, let's look at this one. This one had run up yesterday and pulled back right there. And let me see this guy. Is it STI? Why do I keep putting STIL? There we go. Here we are. And yeah, again, another one. Look, it gets that pop up as it's curling up right here, trying to curl, and then boom, it's gonna take a bounce back down. So I think you might see some more pullback, and this could actually end up in the basement again tomorrow. We'll look at it. If it doesn't bounce off of that line tomorrow, and it doesn't appear it wants to, unless they have some crazy news, I would say. And I don't see anything down here. They do what? Lithium sulfur batteries. This is the extent of my news that I look at. Here's my fundamentals. If anybody's new watching, this is all I look at. I look at charts, and then if I want to look at news, I scroll down on FinViz, and then if they don't have anything, that's as far as I get. So that's as much fundamentals as you're getting out of me. And yeah, so STI, like I said, it could bounce off that bottom, but it doesn't look like it wants to. So I could imagine that's going to pull back there. LICN, that Lichen, this is another one I'm trying to reverse split the same day that Clue did. And that looked weird. As I move that thing, it changes direction. I've never seen that before. That's really strange. That is really strange. It's like 3D right there. Look at this line right here as I move that in and out. I've never seen that happen before. It curls up and down. It's like 3D. Holy cow. That's pretty wild. I don't think I've ever recognized that happening before. I love looking at charts too much, huh? I get way into these things. I look at the lines, everything on them. Anyway, this thing just riding right there, just kind of flat, pulling back. And again, it might channel back down. See how it stair steps and then pulls down, stair steps, pulls down, stair steps, pulls down. But it does. I mean, you can't really tell. I'll have to look at this tomorrow because that's bugging me out how it does that. It should be trying to curl up. So we'll look at it tomorrow. I have to see that one. LICN. I got to mark that thing so I remember to look at it just because it's so goofy looking right now. PW Power Right. And guys, this is that one. Remember back here, I'll tell you, I look at it all the time. When we look at it, the candle sticks out. It was right here. 228 was the high, the low was 180, and people were asking if it was going to pop up, and I was like, what, this? I was like, no, it's about to go lower. Look where we're at 110 down here. And yeah, it had just run up and gotten to the top. I'm like, what are you guys, crazy? And yeah, you could see it coming down, and this still could have some more setup time. It was trying to the other day. You could see it did run up a little bit. It has run up a few times. It just doesn't have the momentum. and it's crossed through now. And again, you're going to get it where it just pulls down, rolls up, pulls down, rolls up. It's going to get into this channel. So it's not really popping, and nothing really is, to be honest. I won't say nothing. There's certain patterns that do, but you can tell which ones are going to run into a channel and end up just kind of cruising along there. So that's what's happening to a bunch of them, because again, they were getting set up to run and they couldn't do it because the market conditions, whatever the case was. It's just been a little volatile and wild and choppy. So, they get pushed down and then they have to reset up. And if they're not ready at that moment, then it happens again. And after like one or two times, it usually hurts them. The big bear right here, BBAI, this one looks like it's not going to get curled up here either, guys. This 20 is coming down way too hard. Even if it got up here, and I don't even think it's getting up to that 363, and we'll look at it and see BBAI. Yeah, this thing's going to get pushed out. Maybe it tries to run up here into. I don't even think so, though. I don't think it's getting crossed through at all. So yeah, I think that one might be pulling back a little more. BBAI, and the Antelope is AEHL. Here you go, Antelope Enterprise right there, pulling back some. Antelope was trying to get moving. Actually, look, you could see it trying to curl up yesterday, and you see that 20 start pulling down really hard on them. They generally aren't running right now. And look at it. It was trying to curl up off the MACD. Now it's going flat. You're probably going to get a little pullback tomorrow, and then maybe you can get that run up on Antelope. So that's what you're looking at right there. And again, we're looking at these day to day because that's how much they change with the news and everything. Or any kind of report, you get your PPIs or your CPI reports, and everything's just changing around immediately. So here is PTPI, Petros Pharmaceuticals, another one that crossed through the other day and ran up. I remember it did. And I think it ran up right before. Yeah, it was ran up as it was crossing. I was thinking that it was kind of impressive, but look where it started to run 3 days out. And I remember saying, well, I'm impressed that it ran 3 days like that. And it actually stayed up there. And now it's pulling back here. And again, you're going to get that pullback, and then you're going to get it to roll off the MACD there and obviously try to run back up. It's the pattern that every single one of them's doing. So you just pick the ones you like and you run the pattern. And obviously some of them are getting set up. TrueGolf appears to be getting set up right here a little better. But again, it's curling up real hard. I doubt it's going to get through that tomorrow. So we'll look at TrueGolf tomorrow. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. Yeah, with that look, you're not getting through that tomorrow. And but I'll look at it. TrueGolf, I just don't think it's getting through there. But we'll get set up. Don't get me wrong. Maybe it pulls back here. And again, it's got to get down here to get set up. And these lines might have to get set up. So you might even have a couple weeks on TrueGolf. And it was trying to get set up to really run up here. And then look what happened. It just became a disaster to market and just pulled it down and ends up pulling it into a different channel because everything's running down on it. So that's what happens to them. And, but yeah, you just watch for the setups and make sure that you get the right ones when they're running the right way, and you can easily catch them. So it's not that there's a problem that the market's red. You just have to know what to look for and be pretty picky about it. RNAZ, this one's been pulling back. And again, it's going to be kind of getting closer to that, like wants to try to curl up off a big fish hook. So I'll look at it tomorrow and see. I'm still not sure. It just has that pullback look, but look at it. It is kind of close, guys. So if it's going to run, it's going to run either tomorrow or Monday or something. So keep an eye on that RNAZ. And again, you're just watching for that quick pop up. This is nothing that you're going to be trying to run long, because obviously it's going to just run up right there. And as it curls up, it's going to run back more. And I'm not even so sure it wants to run tomorrow. I'm just saying keep an eye on it just to see if it does. And maybe it'll try to move early in the morning. So we'll look at that one. It did. It looks like it ran up some in the after hours. I'm telling you, I don't even look at this stuff. I look right here, and now you guys are watching what I'm doing. That's why when I'm saying I never see any, this went down like 27 cents today. That was a pretty big dip. I wasn't even, like I said, I don't even look at the numbers over here. None of that matters. The company only matters because I tell you what the name of the company is, and I have to write in a stock ticker. So that's why I kind of look at the names of the companies now. I used to never look at them. I just and you look when I scan the markets at the end, you'll see I cruise through the whole page in like a couple seconds. It's no big deal. You just look at all the charts real fast. I don't need to look at the names of the company. I don't even care what they do. I'd rather not know, honestly, but it is kind of interesting. And honestly, it's the best cognitive therapy for me. Those of you that are new, I suffered a brain injury so less than 2 years ago, and this show is the best cognitive therapy. I think I'm gonna have to do it forever now because it's like keeps me going for sure. And that's what happens when you're jacking up a house. I got hit with a 10-ton jack with the pressure of a 2-story house right there in my head, and somehow survived that in less than 2 years. It would be 2 years in July. And yeah, here we are. Now I'm in the matrix and stock charts. Go figure. I've done this for over 20 years. I've always looked at stock charts. They've been a hobby of mine my whole life. And when COVID came around, I had some buddies that were always like, yo, you got to be posting this stuff. It's crazy. So I got into the posting on Stock Twits and Twitter or X. And then yeah, in June I started doing the show, and more of I guess it just kind of things happen for a reason. It started to help my brain, and then it was a lot of fun, and now we have a great time doing it. We have an awesome community, a lot of great people that talk to each other, and we just cruise along and crush the market together. So it's always a lot of fun. So if you ever have questions, just post them out, and there's always knowledgeable people, Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, and a bunch of other folks on here that are just know the market really, really well and can almost answer things better than me sometimes. I think they definitely know the technical and terms and stuff like that better than me. I don't know what anything's called. I make up my own terms. So if you hear me saying the basement and stuff and you have no idea what I'm talking about, here's your basement down here under your 30, and Al's in it right now at your 28. I don't know what it's really called. Under your 30 RSI. I have no idea. I just make up names, and this is at the top. So if you're over your 70, you're in your top. And that's what I'm talking about. I keep it as simple as possible. I look at two things: an RSI, an MACD, 6 months out. Look at this. It's even longer. I start looking at it like right here. So that's why you'll see some of the charts like this, and then I can blow them up and like that. But I'm always looking at the chart like this to see what that pattern did, and then I can get a good idea of what it wants to do real quick just by looking at it. Just giving you a quick idea, because again, I've never really live streamed these the whole show. And so yeah, you guys can get an idea of what I'm looking at. But here's Al. It's pulling back right there. I don't know what the hell this blue line is, to be honest with you. I keep seeing it. I think it's like almost like some like bottom line. I gotta ask what that is, because it's on here and I haven't seen. I really don't know what kind of trend line. I didn't put it in. It's just kind of built in. I'll have to find out what it is. So I'll figure that out. But it wants to hit it, and I don't see it like listed anywhere. I'm like, what is this line? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. None of it matters. And because Al's going down in the basement some more, that's all that matters. You could see it's pulling back a little bit here, and yeah, it's just not ready. It'll pull back a little bit. You'll get a little curl up. It'll start looking good. And again, just look at it. Here's your it came through here. It tried to make a quick curl up. It didn't really do it, but we'll count it as one. There's your 2. There's a number 3. It tried it. It's trying it like 4. It just keeps trying. It's not going to do it, guys. And you're just going to keep pulling it back and getting down further and further there. So unfortunately, Al does not want to fly right yet, just yet. It's going to sit in its nest for a little bit, and we'll have to take a keep an eye on it. It will get bullish. I mean, you can see it will get running up here. Your 20's coming down on it. So yeah, we'll watch it. These things definitely have some time to get set up. That's for sure. And Al will have to get ready to sit in its nest for a little longer, I think. XHLD 10 Holdings, a broadcasting company right here. Now, these ones are brand new. Look at this thing. It just started February 13th. I'm not that good at this. There's nothing for me to really look at besides a flat line in the basement. Like, it looks like a square to me. I'm like, all right. Luckily, I can see that it's in the basement and it wants to curl up. You do have like your some averages trying to move in there. I don't even know. It's got to be like a 20-day, probably, I would assume, because it hasn't even been that long. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And we'll just see if this thing tries to get moving. It's not ready yet. So that's all I can see on that. And again, I'm just giving you guys an idea, since you guys can see what I'm doing, of what I really look at and what I'm looking for. So I just keep it really simple right there. That's why I don't play any of the new IPOs. I generally don't know what the heck they're doing, so I can't ever tell. And so yeah, that's why. And the OTCs, if we find one, I'll look up one from last night. I'll show you a chart on that and why I can't figure them out. Oh, TTO is an easy one though. I know that's an OTC. That one's actually easy because the chart looks perfectly normal. So this one you can see. Remember, this one was trying to curl up. I would watch this. You're going to get that curl off. This is an OTC. You're going to get this into that 13 and get into this range. Watch this 20. It'll curl it up and try to pull it up with it. So that is an OTC or that I can see, but I'll find one from last night. There's a bunch on there that I couldn't really tell, and I'll show you why I can't tell. I have no idea. And let's look at PSQH. Let's take a look at this one. As a matter of fact, Antonio Costa, if you don't know who it is, it's at AC Investor Blog. Check him out. I used to follow him on StockTwits before I ever even posted. He has well over 100,000 followers. He's been around for a long time and has always had a huge following, and has one on X as well. And I saw him post in this one, and I believe it was BuzzFeed BZFD. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And thanks for the follow there, because I definitely follow him. And yeah, he's on point usually with everything. So let's take a look at these bad boys. PSQH for sure. Let's see what this wants to do. Let's take a look. It looks like it started moving in the after hours. Yeah, like again, I don't look up here, so I'm looking at the chart where it comes down 15 cents, and now I'm looking at it at 236. I'm giving you guys an idea of exactly why I get so mad about Finviz. And yeah, I'll send this live feed to them and they can watch it too, because it drives me, and they think I'm nuts. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, how is this even normal? I look at the chart, it says 236. We're in 250 land, and it ran up even higher, up to 260. I have to know that happened. It doesn't even come anywhere near here. It went up to 256, but again, it's at 254 right now, and it doesn't show it. It says it up here. It went up 18. I'm not looking at that nonsense. I just look at the chart, show me what it did, and just keep the thing running after 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Make it start at 4 a.m. Don't stop it until 8 p.m., and the thing will be perfectly fine. I don't understand why it's hard, but that's what I yell about all the time about Finviz. And again, I pay for the thing. It's the elite, so at least give me something like the value of it, and that's what I want to see. And yeah, I've talked to him plenty of time, and I'll send this one over to him. Again, I mean, how many times do you point it out that the thing is just it's like being in caveman time. Like, how do they not realize the market runs at 4 a.m.? It's an entire market running at 4 a.m. until 7 a.m. They missed an entire day practically. There's like 3 days at running this thing now. And now you got overnight running. And I don't really care that much, because that doesn't make it that drastic, but you have to make it start at 4 a.m. because at 4 a.m. we bowlers, you guys know, these things run up like $100 sometimes when the market's moving at 4 a.m. and they come down to like nothing by 7 a.m. You can't even trade them if you're in your E-Trade or the big account. So it's just wild that you can't see anything. But so here you go. That's what I'm always complaining about. So now that you guys can see it, and maybe Finviz is watching, they can fix it for us, because it drives me insane. And just put the chart to work. That's all. And again, that's why I'm telling you guys, the Trend Spider is amazing. This is what it looks like. I've made this chart up, and it's as simple as you can possibly see a chart. I barely have anything on it. And so yeah, that's all I look at, and that's all I want to see, but at least make it accurate for me. So anyway, let's get back to this bad boy so we can see what's going on. Our 20s are coming down, our 50s coming down. I don't really necessarily like that. It did run up in the after hours, so I do like that momentum off of there. And again, I have no idea what this trend line is down here. Like I said, I didn't add it there. It just ended up on the chart somehow. So I'm not exactly sure what that is. It doesn't really matter. I know it's right near there. I just moved it up, but I know it's right there. And yeah, it does look like it has that momentum going into tomorrow. Like I said, the FinViz doesn't necessarily show it. So at that point at 254, you didn't get into the basement. It pulled itself back out clearly and started to move up. And it does look like it might try to. How many times it tried to curl through? Oh yeah, it tried a bunch of times, didn't it? All right then. It has a few. Watch this thing. Ready? Oh yeah, this thing's crazy. Look at this loop diddy loop, and it came through. They were still going through back then. That's why in the beginning of the year. And then here you go. Here we go at our roller coaster. There's a one big time. You would think right there, you thought it was going to go nutty. Trust me. And everybody would. And like I said, they keep faking everybody out. Even came up here. It looked great. And now look where we're at down here. And again, we have to get through this MACD. It got into the basement. It has the momentum in the after hours. This is like almost a coin flip right here. PSQH. Wow. Antonio Costa definitely gave me a good one for this one, but honestly, it could go through. You know why? It tried to do it here. It has the momentum in the after hours. I like it. To be honest, I'm gonna say I like this thing, and it's already tried to go through like how many 1, 2, 3. I mean, it almost was trying to do it nonstop there, and got put back down, and now it's trying to do it, and now it's really on it. So we'll look at this bad boy. I'll look at it first thing in the morning. PSQH. I'm gonna jot it down here as well. But yeah, I'd have to say I think it might get through with that momentum in the after hours. After you look at it on here and you see it's at 250 and it started to get up to that 260 area, I could say it could move up there. And again, you just got to watch it get up to this 287 where the 20s are, because they like to get smacked down and this thing's coming down on it. But to where it's at, that's a pretty nice pop up. So that one, we're definitely looking at it in the morning. I do think it could keep that momentum. And again, this chart is meaningless right here because it doesn't show you anything what happened in the after hours. So there you go. It's just kind of crazy right there. That's what I'm always yelling about. But BuzzFeed right here, I think that, yeah, BZFD is BuzzFeed, and they have earnings coming up on what, today? Did they have them? They must have had them today. I don't know what happened. You guys know I don't look at it, and I don't even know it. Remember when they were gray for a little while? They would just pop like crazy. So I don't know what that gray even means, because usually they're these are all gray. Usually they're like red or green. So I don't know what the heck's going on. Anyway, that don't matter either. We know we got a support line here, and we're trying to cruise up, trying to curl through. He gave two good ones right here, didn't he? And then did this really bump up in the it? Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind, guys. Look at this. I'm looking at this thing and it jumped up there. I tell you, I don't look up here at all. I should know better. And but as soon as I go over here, this is when I get pissed. When I don't get mad, but I just am like, are you kidding me? Because I just wasted like 30 seconds or a minute, and I'm looking at this chart like, oh yeah, it's down here. What's it gonna do? And then I pop here and go, are you kidding me? It popped up in the after. There you go. What was that, 2 in a row, 3 in a row? I mean, every single one. And it's obviously, if they're popping in the after hours or at 4 a.m., you just have no idea. But you need to know these things. So this changes the chart pretty much completely around 202 to 225. It's at 218. And now we're sitting over at 20. And yeah, we're looking really good right here, Antonio. So I would have to say that one looks good. And again, this chart means absolutely nothing to us right now on FinViz. So there's 2 in a row. He pointed out the 2 that they should be looking at because they're great examples. So there you go. That's actually perfect right there. And yeah, it's just insane that they don't have this like the chart set up, and they just show you, like, what good is showing me that the price went up? I don't care. Just show it to me on the chart. That's all I need to know. I don't look at the prices. I don't care about them. None of it matters to me. And I say it all the time. It shouldn't matter. Just show the chart. So again, that one looks really good, guys. I would be watching BuzzFeed in the morning to keep that momentum right there. So I do like that. And now that's just a little inside of what I do and on the show every day. But yeah, now you can see why I don't lose my mind, but it drives me nuts because I'll be looking at this thing trying to get an idea, and I literally don't look at. I just go over there and then I go, oh, are you freaking kidding me? It ran up, so now I got to go back and try to figure it out again. And like I say, that more or less takes like mad time. We could fly through most of these, and it happens a lot. especially in the pre-market, 7 a.m. because they're just popping up at 4 a.m. and then like Laptop Travel's like, oh yeah, that one ran up or this one, and you see it on StockTwits or something, or you obviously see it on the TrendSpider. So that one's super accurate, and I love it. So, and maybe real soon, I think I'm actually talking with them. I have the paid service, but I signed up for the affiliate thing, and I'm talking to them about possibly setting up like my charts and stuff. So if anybody did want to subscribe to the TrendSpider, you would get like my charts already on there and stuff like that. So, and maybe the scanners and stuff like that. I'm talking to them and seeing what we can put together just as a bonus if anybody does want it. And because again, I use it all the time, and that's up to you guys, but just something put out there as a little extra bonus for you guys if you're interested. So I'll be talking to them about that. And yeah, and like I said, I swear by it. You can see here's my scanners over here. You guys can see them all. I mean, I just made a bunch, and I'm gonna organize them even better. And you just click on one. I'll give you an example right here. This is like I think the small caps, I guess, and we'll see. It might already been on that one actually. Yeah, B hat's on there. Look at that. BHAT's on there, blue. Yeah, you could go through this thing and look, and I can just literally hit the arrow down, and this is what I do. I go, that's down. That one don't look too bad. What's this one right here? ANEB. That one could have some momentum tomorrow. And I literally can go through the charts this fast. Blues not are looking all right, and then I'll just pick out the ones that look decent real quick. That one wasn't too bad, and yeah, I can go through a ton of them real quick. That one's going to hit that and come back down. But that's what I do. There's that CELU. Remember, we were looking at that at the same time as Clue because it was messing up my brain with the letters. And that one was trying to run up, and it's sitting right there in that 20. It's trying to get through. That one will be an interesting one tomorrow to see. But yeah, just giving you guys a little look, just messing around since we're live streaming. But let's get back to this, and we'll knock these bad boys out real quick. You know we can do it fast, and we'll cruise right through. But yeah, that's PSQH and BuzzFeed, BZFD. If I could talk, it would help too. That is BuzzFeed and that other one, and we'll definitely look at them tomorrow. I think BuzzFeed looks really good, and I can't say PSQH looks bad. We'll take a look at it in the morning. And again, thank you, Antonio Costa, AC Investor blog right there. So you guys can check him out. Like I said, he has a huge following, and has been around for a long time. I know I followed him for a while. So, and I didn't follow many people. I tell you, there's only a handful of people I even followed, probably like 10, if that. And he was definitely one of them. So there you go. There's that, and let's look at ASTS because we've been looking at that bad boy with Ben and the story trading guys, and it did pull back here. And I mean, I'm telling you, look at this chart, looks real good right there, but your 20 is going to come down. I think we're going to get pushed down a little bit more. You can kind of see it right there. And let me see if I can type it in right. Yeah, we'll see if it can get hung up on that 50, but look how it crossed down here. It was trying, and most of them try to stay up once they come through like that and go up. They try to stay up there. This one just couldn't do it, and it's getting pulled back. It still looks good, though. They had some kind of good news. I forget what the heck it was, but I thought they did anyway. I remember Ben posting something. But yeah, I think you might just get pulled back into the 25 area, and then maybe it might get set back up because it is trying to set up, or maybe it tries to hold it up tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on this ASTS. It has been jumping around a lot. So, and again, it curled through, came up, went back down. So I guess it can have the possibility of trying to go back up. You don't see many of them even do that right now. So we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. I've been watching it. And this BioKey, BKYI, this ran up today. I remember I was saying, somebody was asking me about this. I didn't know what they were talking about it, but we've been looking at it for the last few days. They asked me about it this day, and it had run up. I didn't know what they were even talking about. So we missed it on that. And then we started looking at it the last few days, and there you go. It did run up today, 116 to 145. It's back to 116. Look at that crazy. Here's your crazy look when they open and close on the same day. That looks like a samurai sword to me. But yeah, they just have that weird look to you, like you don't know what it wants to do. Looks like it wants to pull back to me at the moment. So we'll take a look at it and see what it wants to do tomorrow. But I mean, yeah, it's not in such a bad spot. That's why when they do that, they open and close. It's really hard for me to get a good idea what they want to do. I don't know why, but it's just as strange to me. So I'll look at the bio key BKYI tomorrow and check it out. And that's been our list. And Fubo right here, good old Fubo. This is in a good spot too. But again, when they get, even though they get into this great spot where they love to bounce up, you have your 20 coming down. And if you're not up and ready to get rocking and rolling right there, and or up like rolling off the MACD, the thing's coming down right now, unfortunately. So this one, I mean, it should want to bounce. Maybe you see it bounce tomorrow. We'll definitely take a look at it. I want to see it on here for sure. But yeah, it just gives me that look. It wants to pull back, guys. And honestly, it's in that spot where you would love it to bounce off, but I just don't think it has it in it. So I think you're going to get it pulling back, and then it might even come back and try to set up off of this line down here again. So we'll watch that and see what it wants to do. And there you go. We'll run through our laptop travel and our Jolie's jams right there. And then I'll go through. I can see a bunch of them on here, so I will definitely go through them and see what's going on. Actually, I'll go through a few of them real quick because there's only a few right here. And Ghetto Stoic, LGMK. Did you miss it? Well, let's look at it again for you. Good old logic, Mark. I know I forget what I even said. It is in that basement right there, curled up. Let's look at it again because I couldn't tell you what I said with it. I think I even did a whole thing on it, but I don't remember. Curling up there. Yeah, it's just a little flat. I know it was trying to run up here. Yeah, I was talking about it. It's been running up. I'm telling you, keep an eye on this thing. It could get moving right here. Trying to move up there in the after hours. So yeah, we'll look at it and see what it wants to do tomorrow. So I will keep an eye on Logic Mark right here, LGMK. We've been watching it, and again, it's just kind of flat. You can see when I say they're flat, you see them. They just, if this is running flat, you know they're running flat up in here. And again, it takes, I've been watching these things for a long time, and that's why I really wanted to do the live stream so that you guys can get an idea of the charts and stuff. The more you look at them, that's why I don't mind looking at tons of different charts, and you're not trading them all like I explained in the beginning. But the more knowledge or the more charts you look at, the more patterns you see, the more knowledge. And I've been doing this for well over 20 years, so I know kind of real quick what to look for real fast. They kind of jump out at me. So yeah, when I look at them real fast, I can just kind of see what's happening right there. But it does want to try to move. It's just not getting the momentum. We'll look at it tomorrow morning, Logic Mark, because it says it tried to move up a little in the after hours. I'm not so sure it did. So we'll look at it there. But yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look like it wants to really take a dip and rip, but you just don't know in this market because it's up here and they can pull back to that MACD and then try to roll off. We'll definitely look at it tomorrow morning, LGMK. Jot that one down there to look at it so I remember, because that is an interesting one. It's just sitting right there. Like I said, it's flat. When they're flat like that, they're kind of hard to tell. And I like to know what they're going to do. If they're flat, I say it. Let me look at them in the morning. We'll get a better idea. So yeah, we'll look at it in the morning, get a better idea. But I don't think it's really trying to pull back hard. So we'll look at that bad boy for you. And let's see what's going on here. B hat after the reverse split, that's for sure. And Hood, I forgot. I knew there was one I mentioned earlier. ANUJ. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, or I would say it. I guess I would say, and I won't even try because I'll butcher it. And I said I have a brain injury, and my reading's not the best either anymore. So yeah, I butcher everything. All I could do is sit here and look at stock charts. My wife will tell you. She thinks like I'm pretty much I could do some things, but definitely not like I used to. But I'm in the matrix with this stuff, so that's all that matters, I guess. And yeah, you can take care of your family and stuff like that, and be halfway normal. Like I said, I'm very blessed to be alive. I got smashed in the head pretty good, and I had 18 months of cognitive therapy. It was pretty impressive. So, and again, this is like the most cognitive therapy you could have is doing this show. That's why I don't mind looking at all the charts in the world, having fun with it. It just kind of keeps my brain working as well. So, and I've always enjoyed it. I've always looked at tons of charts every day, and And I guess that's how I kind of got to this point, obviously. So even in the hospital tonight, I got hit in the head. I was literally looking at FinViz, looking at the stock charts, and I truly believe it kind of saved my brain for whatever reason. The hospital let me leave 4 hours later with a brain injury, and then a week later, I went into a haunted house. So that didn't end real well. And yeah, I went through some craziness, and yeah, here we are. We're sitting here looking at stock charts. So, but Hood, I'm staring at this bad boy. It's just not ready. It's sitting on that support line. I'm telling you, they fake you out really bad because they look like they want to run up there, and they just aren't. And then here you go. We'll go through it. Dip down right here as it's pulling back. It's trying to curl up. I mean, slightly. You can see it. It's trying. It's not even that much, and it jumps up and then boom, right back down. And yeah, these guys are just, I don't even think these support lines and these trend lines can hold them up right now. Because look, your 20s were coming up to hold them up. And once that started curling down real hard like that, now they got to beat through that thing. And that's trying to push them down, and they're trying to go up. And, it's way easier for things to come down than it is to go up. And so, yeah, unfortunately, and look at that thing. Look how many times it ran through the top right there, right across the top. And now you're about to see it run through the bottom. So that's why it's impeccable and important to get out when they try to top out. And who would have known that thing topped out up here? But if you were smart enough to get out of it, you hit the jackpot. And like I say, even if you got out up here because you got in down here, it's a nice hit. It's better than riding it all the way up here and then watching it come down and then having to sell it down here. And could be even lower than, or right where you bought it. So they're the things you have to think about and just trade them smart. And again, you lock in on the ones that you really like Hood, not a bad one to keep an eye on. I've been watching it, that, and obviously Coinbase. We do that every night, and keeping an eye on both of these. Look at this thing. I might be shorting down tomorrow, to be honest with you. COIN looks like it wants to go down some more. Again, I don't know what this line is, but I don't think that's holding up anything right there. So actually, you know what that is? That could be the basement line right there. I didn't even notice that. Maybe that's what that is. I have to pay attention now. That's what that could be. That could be that line right there for me. Okay. I'll have to pay attention now and see, because I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but who knows? Doesn't matter. Like I said, I don't really care one way or the other. Coinbase doesn't look like it's going up. Let's put it that way. It looks like it's coming into the basement. So that's what that looks like right there. And yeah, so there you go with that bad boy. And let me run through the rest of these. HII. I know we looked at that the other day. What was that, Luis Rodriguez? Huntington Ignals or something like that. That's right. This one's looking pretty good for tomorrow, guys. Take a look at this. It was up a little bit. What sector is this? I don't even know. Aerospace and defense. And yeah, this one's trying to curl up here. You can see it. And again, is it going to run hardcore? I don't know, but it might get up into the 200s right there. So I would definitely take a look at that. That might be one of your few big cappers that are looking pretty good. We can probably go through some of the aerospace and defense, but I didn't see too many of them really setting up that great. But yeah, that one looks really good right there. I'm not sure what's going on. What they say, HII is selected to support the nation's combat ready force with a $182 million pilot training contract. Well, that'll help, I'd say. So, and there you go, guys. I told you that's the extent of my news. If if they have it on here, I see it. So, or sometimes if I look down, I was just curious what was going on because it looks so good. And that's what's going on right there. So there's your news. And that's why it's looking really good. And you probably will get a runner in the morning. So keep your eye on that HII right there. Thank you, Luis Rodriguez. That's a pretty one right there. Beauty, Lockheed Martin. Let's look at it, because that was up today. I know that. And that looks pretty good too. So maybe the aerospace and defense. And we rode this, guys. And you guys know we had this at the very bottom down here at like 423. Weren't we down there? Or are we over here? I forget. We were down here pretty good and knew it was running up here. And it obviously popped up on that 494, pulled back, but it looks pretty good to try to curl back up there. So I'd say LMT is another good one, like HII. Maybe I will run through the aerospace and defense sector real quick later and check it out, just see what's going on there. and see if they're all setting up, because we do like to keep our eye on that. It does tell us a lot. Have called, you guys know, I called the Trump assassination days before it happened. The first one I called days before it happened, said that the country would be under attack, and you guys know I started saying it for a week, and I was like, oh, we're in trouble, guys. Something major's going to happen, and boom, a couple days later, something major went down. So the charts do tell you everything. You guys know that. And we haven't had to pay attention to them, so we haven't. Aerospace and defense, we've known there. We know every time there's been a bombing or anything, we point it out before it ever happens. So, yeah, well, I'll look at them. I haven't really broke them down in a while because, like I said, I haven't really had to, but I might have to take a peek at them now that them two are looking like that. BTOG, that one is just pulling back here. Had that major run up. I think you might get a little pullback on here. We'll look at it. It's trying to sit right there. Yeah, I'm not sure. Did it run back? Again, 35 said, I knew something looked different there. And there's your difference. Look, it went down, but then it ran right back up in the after hours. And I'm looking at it down here. But essentially, if it's up here, 38 cents is where it's at. We're all the way up here, guys. The thing should be right here. Like, you see where the cross is? That's where the candles should be up to. If it was up there, I would be like, oh, all right, now I know what I'm looking at, because look where it's at. It's right there on there. So, and now it looks much better. You're right. BTOG not looking too bad right there. Laptop travel, I have to say, in the after hours, it did look much better. I'll look at that in the morning as well. I know we were looking at that, and it ran up. That BTCT, that's a computer hardware one. I did them last night. I have to add this one to that list. I don't think this one's on that list. BTCT, and we ran this one up. We were in the dollars, and this ran up into like the $20 range or wherever it ran to. It was insane. But it's just bouncing onto that 20 right there. I don't know if it's going to break through it just yet. I think you're just going to have it bouncing back and forth off the MACD and stuff, just until these things get set back up. I don't think it's going to cross back down though. So we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. Some of them quantum ones that we were looking at last night that were looking good did run though, so we can we can look at them bad boys again. But there you go with the BTCT. Let me see what else is going on over here. And BTOG we just did. And SMCI will obviously do that one when we look at it real quick. We look at it anyway. But here you go. It was down 389. And it does. Remember what I said, Luis Rodriguez? How accurate was that one, Luis? You know what we said. We even went over it last night, exactly what we were saying. Hit that 20, came right down. Again, it's just a pattern, guys. And that's why I keep telling you, until that pattern changes, I'm not going away from it, because it's saving our asses. And it did on that one. You could have rode it right to that 20. It was a beautiful pop. We knew it, and coming back down. So there you go at your SMCI right there. And here we go. We'll run through our laptop travel ones, because there's been a ton of great ones on there. And we've been pointing them out. The ones that are set up, they've been running hundreds of %, guys, because I think the last two that came off of the list were from the laptop travel side. And we just happened to look at. He gives us an amazing list, and again, I say it all the time, our show's amazing because the listeners are great. You guys send in so much information. The list is based on what you guys want to look at, and then I just go through them and tell you what looks good. That's all I do, and I enjoy doing it. It's so much fun. So like I say, it's just a nice team effort, and obviously we all talk to each other. And if you have any questions, you can DM me, and I always respond on the X. And just make sure it's the right account, because there is a bunch of fake accounts out there. So I must be doing something halfway right, because people want to kind of be an imposter for whatever reason, I guess, to scam people. So just be careful of that. But I do answer the DMs, but you'll definitely know. It's just the way I probably message back, just the way I talk. So you can probably get a pretty good idea that it's me pretty quick. So Anyway, let's cruise through our laptop travel list right here. And if you don't follow Laptop Travel, give him a follow. He's always posting great information. He's been in this market. I'm telling you, he was trading when I was in diapers, I think. So Laptop Travel used to have lunch with Warren Buffett, and he knows us very, very well. He knows the market extremely well. I talk to him quite often, all the time, as a matter of fact, and super knowledgeable. So yeah, he gives us the laptop travel list at night, and he gives us a laptop lowdown list in the morning. That's just great setups, guys. And again, this is all part of knowing how to run the market. You want to be every step of the way ahead of everything. So you want the setups from the bottom that are happening that you're watching, because you don't know when they're exactly going to pop. You know they're getting set up. You just don't know the timing. So you got to watch them. So you get that list. Then you get the ones that are popping right there. So you're into them. And then you get your momentum plays and you get your setup. So you make your little list, and then you follow it along, and you pick the ones that you like. And obviously we go through a lot, but again, we point out the ones, and I'll point out the ones that are looking good. And we've done it every night with the laptop travel ones. I've said, look at these ones, especially because they were really set up. And I'm telling you, they've run for over 100%. I think we had two in a row the last 2 days, over 150%, and RGC went over like 200. I think it went over 300% today in a red market, guys. So that's three in a row, and people are complaining about the market, and we're just destroying it. Not only we're hitting 150% and 300%ers, we're bringing it down too, and know everything that's going on. It's a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I keep saying I don't know what people are upset about. We're having a blast over here. So if you're not having fun, just pay attention to the live show and listen, especially both shows. We go through everything here, and then in the market in the morning, it's quick. I hop on 7 to 7:30, 7:45 at the latest, and till that time we're always starting at 7. And yeah, we run through the market, we look at crypto, everything. And obviously we don't even probably have to look at crypto. It's at like 81,000. It's just not doing anything right now. So but yeah, we break down everything. We look and see, and we have our Joey's jumpers. We know what's popping, our laptop lowdown, so we look at them, and we just have a good time pointing out everything that works and wants to pop and run. So just give you a little breakdown. I think there's a bunch of new people since I started live streaming it tonight. I see a bunch of different people on there, which is awesome. So thank you everybody for checking us out and joining the live stream. And I'm going to start doing it every day. I'll just put the tomorrow's morning show. I'm just going to do regular spaces, and then starting next week I'll do them all. I'll set it up. I just have to set them up ahead of time, and it'll take me 1 minute. Not 1 minute, but you know what I mean. I'll have it easy. I'll do it on the weekend, set them up for the whole week. And it might be weird that there's like a countdown, but who cares? On the YouTube page, I saw it was pretty cool. If you go on the YouTube, it has like a countdown and stuff on the live feed, and you can see. So yeah, I'll get them all set up, or that day or the day before, whatever. And yeah, we'll do this live streamed all the time. So it works out for me, and I think you guys like it. Let me know too. Give me some feedback of what you guys like. And NOC, that's another one that's I was trying to think of the other. This is the one I was thinking of, Luis Rodriguez, right off the bat. I'm like, I know we've been going through one, and it was trying to set up, and I couldn't think of the letters, the name of it, or anything. And there you go. Read my mind, NOC. And yeah, that was up $15. I didn't see it today, but Luis Rodriguez gave it to us the other day, and it's been looking good. Like I said, we've been watching it set up, and it's been running around. We definitely gonna have to go through these. There's three of them right there. NOC, and that one's looking good. Northrop Grumman. I don't even know how to Northrop Grumman. What a name, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, that one's rolling back up there too. So that is another one, aerospace and defense, looking good. Here, we'll roll through our laptop travel list real quick and see what's going on here. ACTU not looking bad right there. I could see this one just a little flat, but it's trying to run up. It might not be a huge popper tomorrow, but you might get some movement up. And again, in a red market, if you're trying to look for anything trying to move, a couple percent is pretty damn good. And these things will move it, trust me. So let's look at AIRI. This is another aerospace and defense. I know that one. This one is just pulling back a hair. It's in the channel. It's trying to stay in there. Look at that. It opened and closed at the same price of $4. And yeah, I think this one just stays in the chat. I think you're going to see this 20 start to curl up. Might take a little while. It might be like one of these kind of deals, and but might take a few days, but it'll be in that channel right there. And ARTW, good old Artsway Manufacturing. Let's see what he's up to. That's crossed over and looking decent there. Let's see what ARTW. Yeah, that's looking good right there for some momentum. And you could get a little pop up again. Might not go crazy up to the 177. Might hit that 50 right there, or right under it at like 175. I always look at them just under it because sometimes they don't like to hit it. So you want to get out of them and definitely lock in your profits. You just set it a little lower, and and again, don't even try to hit the tops. I mean, if you hit it, you get lucky. But you find basically where them bottoms are for the most part. And again, we're not even hitting the exact bottoms either because we want to make sure that they're running up and you're not catching these things too early, because if you do and they start pulling back, you're in major trouble. So you got to play them really, really smart, and obviously be patient with them. So you can't be just jumping into everything too early. So yeah, we'll look at that one. AVTX here. Avalo Therapeutics. This one's getting set up. Let it pull back tomorrow. You can see it next week. This one will be a good one right there. AVTX. And again, this is what we do. We make our nice list right here. And then we what's going on? AVTX. Why doesn't it want to work? Let's see if Apple works. What happened here? What I do? Oh, I better put another trend spider up. Hold on real quick. That one seems like it's not really working there. So let's see if this one wants to work better. There you go. I'll X out of that and AVTX. There we go. See, sometimes I just got to do that real quick. And yeah, it's not looking, like I said, just pulling back into that channel right there. Not too bad. I'm telling you, I think it does get set up. I have to look at this tomorrow, actually. AVTX. Look at all the setup going on. It's like blended in there. I could see it better on here. That's why I have these charts a little bit different so I can see things going on. And yeah, that one generally when they want to get set up there, I would just watch it to see if it pulls back and rolls off that MACD right there. So I'll keep an eye on AVTX and CRVS. Corvus Therapeutics. Let's see what this is doing right in that channel. That's not really ready yet there. Let me take a better look. Yeah. That'll just be in that channel real quick and then get set up. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Here we go. ERAS, the Errors Tour right here with Taylor Swift. And let's see what this one's doing. It's just chilling out right there on the 20, pulling back, nothing crazy, and just trying to get set up, like I said, right there. And yeah, we'll see what it wants to do. Watch, it's going to pull back to roll off. That's what they do. They're just going up a little bit, pulling back a little bit, rolling off to see, and then that's where you could get your idea of how much they really want to run, and that's where you can tell kind of. But you got to wait for that setup, and you don't want to jump on them early while they're pulling back because you can be down quite a bit real quick. FIBO right here was running up. I just happened to glance up and saw it was down. I probably wouldn't have recognized that and before, but I just happened to look, and this thing doesn't say it's down. This one says 110 to 123, and that's where it's closed at. And this thing says it did pull back in the after hours. I'll stick with this, but yeah, it looks pretty good right there. I'd have to look at it in the morning just because they both say something so different right there. I'm assuming it stayed up, but we'll look at that in the morning. Let me see. FIBO right there. I'll look at FLYE. Let's see if this wants to go flying yet. Nah, just in this channel right here. It looks a little better today. And FLYE, see it in this 20 looking a little better. So it's just staying in that channel right there. Nothing crazy yet. And HAIN. And I'm not going to lie, there wasn't a whole lot looking great, but this one actually don't look bad. As a matter of fact, this one, we saw this on a scanner not long ago. I remember. Oh, it came up on my scanner. That's right. I did. I saw this on the scanner and mentioned it on that small cap show. I remember I wrote it down for that. And I guess that was like 2 weeks ago, probably. And it ran up and then pulled back. This one actually is going to get set up right here. Yeah, look at this thing. I would say I was definitely early on it. And I remember it was like down here on this trend line. It was probably right around here, February 10th, if I looked at the day. I'm not, yeah, it was a Monday. There you go. That's the day I do the show. I was just curious. I was like, I bet it was a Monday, and it was. And that's the day I do the show. I remember I was like, wow, that thing's looking pretty good. So that's where it was right there. And it started to move up. It started to pull back a little bit. And there you go. It ran up. But this thing's looking pretty good right here, HAIN. So I would keep an eye on this bad boy. And again, I see these things generally like 3 weeks early a lot of times before they want to run. And it's perfectly fine. That's why we make our list and try to keep with them and keep an eye on certain ones, because you just know they have that look where they're going to be running. HKIT, this High Tech Global, that one's just pulling back a hair. I mean, it's nothing crazy there. Oh, wait, hold on. 123 to 125. It's at 121 right now. That's where it did say it was pulled back there. Yeah, it's just pulling back to that MACD. It didn't get through to 20. It's nothing crazy right there. So we'll let that get set up. ENVR or INVR. And I don't, oh, it's supposed to be a J. That's why JNVR. That makes more sense. Janover. And this thing kind of ran up a little bit today. JNVR. Let's see. It certainly did. 462 to 485. It's at 468. It could stay in this channel and run a little bit. It did close and open and close right around the same area, not the same price, but watch it and see if it has momentum in the morning. It could run up into right around that $5 area right there for JNVR. So I'd keep an eye on that one tomorrow morning right there. And LSE. This one's actually looking pretty good. Look at that curl up on it. A little bit flat right there, but let me see. LSE not looking bad. Yeah, look at that momentum right there. I would keep an eye on this. 510 to 559. You know, when they close at their highs, guys, they're generally keeping that momentum in the morning. If they do it on the weekend, you got to be careful. I would definitely keep an eye on this one tomorrow morning too, LSE. That one's looking good right there. MGLD. Let's look at Marigold right here. That one had popped up. I actually have this on my watch list just because of this. And it was looking good. I know that. And MGLD. And let's see. It was running up a little bit. Let's see what it did here. 102. And basically right there. What did it close at? Oh, it closed at 97. So it gapped up this morning. That's why it was up on my watch list this morning, because it gapped up there and it's up over that 20 and not looking bad, guys. So we'll have to look at that. And Marigold Company's right there. And MTR, let's see what that's doing. Mesa Royalty Trust. It's just right there on the 20. It kind of pulled back, but it looks like it wants to get rolling. MTR. Yeah, this thing does. Look at it. It looks like it wants to roll off, and this looks like it wants to jump up there and take a cruise. Take a look at this in the morning. I'll look at that one. MTR right there. And NUVB. Let's see what that's doing. NUVB right here. Let's see. That one had run up there. It's just a little bit of pullback. Looks like it's just going to stay in the channel to get set up right there. Let me just take a look. And yeah, it's exactly what it's going to do. Could pull back a little bit, but nothing crazy. Palisade or something. PALI. That's what that one's called. That was in a good spot and ran up there. A little bit of pullback. I'd watch this one as well, guys. PALI. Keep an eye on this bad boy tomorrow. Look, it ran up yesterday. I don't remember if we looked at it. I remember we looked at it a couple days ago. I don't remember if we looked at it as it was just running up there. I kind of forget, but it was on our list like a week ago. 95 to 98 at 87 right now. And yeah, I'd take a look at it just to see if it does want to try to roll and bounce back up there. Can't promise you. It had a nice little run up, but it's not bad little healthy pullback either. So I'll have to take a look at that. And like I said, I know it was on the list. I just don't remember if we were looking at it. Was running up the last few days there. We were looking at it right before that. I know that. This thing's crawling up nice. Pokey or something. Pochi, POCI. POCI, Precision Optics right here. Looking good. 460 to 460, 472. It closed at 469, and that's looking pretty nice. I would keep an eye on that to continue to try to run up and hit that 50 tomorrow. So keep an eye on POCI tomorrow and PSIG. Let's look at this bad boy. This was that one that runs around a lot. It's curling up and hitting. I'm not so sure it's getting through. Look at them bounces. I'll have to look at it tomorrow, but I doubt it's going to get through right there. So that's PSIG. Yeah, look at that run up there today. I doubt that's going to get through, but it had a nice run up today. That's for sure. That's been on the list. And again, you just follow the ones you like and that you're confident in, and you can play them perfectly. PYPD, the PolyPid. Let's see what they're up to right now. This just looks like it's going to bounce off that line and come down, if I had to guess. And from that chart right there, PYPD. Let's see. It crossed through. What the heck? It went down 290. What's happened? 299. These numbers are all over the place today. And this is like two different charts right here. And it's definitely the same thing. PYPD, PolyPid. Anyway, I'll go with this. It's in that channel. Let's just say it's going to stay in this channel. It ran up yesterday, or it gapped up yesterday is what it did. I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on there. So that's what happened. It gapped up. And then it just came. I have to look at it tomorrow. I think it's probably going to hit that line and pull back, or then it crossed through. Yeah, that's in that spot though where it can come back down. I have to look at this tomorrow. It's like all over the place for me, and I don't like once I look at them and I start second guessing anything. I'm coming back to it the next day. SKK right here. Let's look at this bad boy. And this thing is trying to crawl up there, not looking too bad. So SKK, let's see. Yeah, it's right in that channel. Look for this thing to try to run up a little bit tomorrow. SKK, again, probably won't be anything too crazy, but it might run a little bit. SLGL, Soul Gel, and this one's trying to crawl up there as well. It ran up yesterday. SLGL. Yeah, it ran up yesterday right there to that 66. Today it's at 60 on that 20 and not looking bad. It could have a little bounce. It's probably just going to set up a little bit tomorrow on a Friday. Savara, SVRA. Yeah, Savara, SVRA. This thing's running up here. I think we were just looking at it possibly. And it was trying to get set up. And here you go, 259 to 292. It's a 276 and trying to curl up right here. This one could be a little bit of a runner up. And it is way down right there. So, yeah, I'd keep an eye on SVRA in the morning. That one could get moving. I think that one pulled up on my scanner as well. And UNCY, Unicive or something like that. I don't even know how to say that thing. That's in that channel right there. It's probably just going to stay in there tomorrow. It looks like, yeah, see it just right there. Just stay in that channel. We'll look at it next week. And UTSI, UT Starcom, this one is crawling up. Not looking too bad, trying to break through that 20 right there. UTSI, it's trying to. We'll see that tomorrow. I'm not so sure it'll do it, but it's trying. So I'll look at it. And XRTX right here. That one's not looking too bad. Let me see. Yeah, that one looks like it wants to roll off. I know we've been looking at it the last few weeks or like the last week or two. It's like Exortex or something like that. And let's see. It does look like it wants to roll off. Let's see. It might run up to that dollar again. Maybe it pushes through. Keep an eye on this one tomorrow. XRTX. And Xena ran up yesterday. And let's see what it's doing today. And it came way down today, but it did run up there. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Let me see on this one. ZENA. Yeah, pull back to that 20 right there at like 398. Hitting the 50 today. What, 430, 511? It's at 398. Yeah, it might have to pull back to set back up on that Xena there. And you can see this would have to be the setup right there. So we look at that, and it did run up yesterday. So there you go with your laptop travel list. Looking good right there. A bunch of nice ones. So I would say that LSE right here, keep an eye on that thing. That one's not looking too bad right there. And MTR, that one wasn't looking. Let me see. That one was pulling back. I think that one, did it run up in the after hours? Hold on. MTR. Oh, yeah, I want to see that one roll off. I was going to look at that one. There was another one that looked pretty good. Which one was it? Was it the POCI? Yeah, it was that one. That one was looking pretty decent. POCI. Keep an eye on that one tomorrow. Yeah, not a whole bunch that are looking crazy. And I noticed that earlier that there wasn't a bunch looking crazy. And that Janover or whatever, JNVR, if I could type it in, I keep writing an I. JNVR. And that one had that weird look. I knew I marked it for some reason. So, yeah, there you go. We'll take a look at them and see what's going on. And what did that FIBO do? I'm looking at them again real quick. as I go back. And that one had run up. So yeah, I put a couple marks. Like I said, nothing really that crazy, but we'll definitely look at them and see what is going on tomorrow morning if any jump out at us. And we'll look at the scanner real quick and see what's going on there. But first, let's look at our Jolie's jams. Agrify's been setting up, guys. We did like this, and I'd keep an eye on it. Yeah, honestly, it might not get through this trend, but it did look good. Remember, we were looking at it the last few. We look at it all the time, but it finally started to look good right off of that line. Let's see. It's gonna probably hit this and bounce down a little bit, but it is trying to get set up there. We'll have to see what it wants to do. We'll have to stick with our pattern and think that it's not going to make it through. And if it does, then you can jump on board because it'll be worth it if it does. BLNK, good old Blink, that's down, and they had their earnings. Was that today? Yeah, they had earnings today. It looks red. It must have been it. They're down 7 cents. And yeah, just kind of pulling back, but it'll probably try to roll back off. That could be another bottom right there at 88. So we keep an eye on Blink. And Sezzle was just pulling back some more today. I saw this bad boy down. I wish this one's an easy one to always read. Of course, they don't have options on it. And yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be pulling back some of that Sezzle. So keep an eye on that to pull back. And let's see what Sterling's doing. STRL, that's Sterling Infrastructure. This one is actually trying to get set up, guys. So it had pulled up. It pulled back while everything else was kind of ripping there. And now this one kind of wants to get moving. Watch it try to get over that 122 and it'll get moving. And that is your Sterling. Remember, this thing had run way up there. It was at what, 198, 206. It got over $200 not long ago and took some major dippage. And good old Rivian was down a little bit today and looks like it wanted to pull back some more. And how about that Symbotic was down and looks like it wants to pull back some more. Look, they get cruising. Everyone thinks they're going to get running, and then all of a sudden they're pulling back further than they were. And that's your Jolie's jams right there. And let's see what else is going on. Oh, wait, Marty works for Northrop Grumman. They're the company that built the James Webb Deep Space Telescope along with a lot of famous aircraft. No shit. That's awesome. There you go, Marty. That's awesome. AVTX we'll look at. Futures are green, huh, Luis Rodriguez? That's pretty cool. If futures are green. AVTX, let's see. Down 20. Yeah, that one's going to get set up, that AVTX for sure. We definitely talked about. Oh yeah, that was like right there on that list. Yeah, that one's looking good. We'll keep an eye on that AVTX. It's right there and getting set up right there. It could pull back, like I said, maybe tomorrow, but it'll be looking good for next week, I would assume, right there. And let's take a look at our SPY. And I can tell you what crypto's doing really quick. Let me see. Oh, I just missed Bitcoin, but we'll do that one last. Sol's at 125. Ethereum's at 1,883 or 88. 1,888 right there. Ripple's at 227 and Cardano's at 70. Doge is coming up. It's at 16 cents. Chainlink's at 13.26 and HBAR's down to 19 right now. And yeah, I'd say they're getting pretty much destroyed down there. And let me wait for Bitcoin to come back up. What's it at? 81,000 something. It looks like 81,810. It looks like. So they are definitely down. And like I said, I don't even think we have to look at the charts. We know they're not going to be popping. That's for sure. So let's go ahead and look at our SPY and our big caps and our Mag 7 and all them guys. And then let me know if you guys want to see anything else. And I'll check over here these notifications and see. And yeah, I think everything's kind of wait, Luis Rodriguez did post something on there. Deja vu. Let's see, 2020 and 2025. Oh, I actually, that Bitcoin, I saw somebody post that just the other day, yesterday, Luis Rodriguez, and they were talking about like 800 and some days or something, and it just started ripping. Honestly, I thought the exact same. I just saw that. That's amazing, and I'll tweet that out. I agree. So that one, I think I'm telling you, these things, you know what I said. In a couple months from now, you know exactly what's going to be happening. We're going to be posting that these things are at all-time highs, and we're going to be like, yep, we knew this was going to happen. And everyone's going to be that didn't load up is going to say, I knew I should have loaded up, because I'm telling you, after that, you could see a recession. We're not going to see it right now. We're just seeing. I explained it all. You guys know we just needed to happen. They're just cutting things back. We knew it was going to happen. To be honest with you, happened a little faster than we thought, but that's perfectly fine. And again, we were prepared to play the market any which way, so it didn't really matter. And we are just crushing it. Like I said, we're hitting 150 percenters on the daily and smashing the market down and know what everything's doing. So we're not complaining one bit with the market being red or doing anything. And I don't think we're going to complain ever. So in these 4 years, we're going to be just cruising along, guys. And we're going to have these big pops, like I said, in the summertime or in a couple months. You're going to see these things run the all-time highs. And then it's just going to be important to actually trade out of them and lock in those profits and not think that it's going to go higher and higher and higher like always. So our SPY, let's look at it, down 745. We kind of knew that was happening, I'd say, and it's in the basement going down some more. And yeah, it's going to be dipping some more, it looks like. So I would say that SPY, and yeah, that blue line must be exactly what I was thinking. It looks like it could be like that bottom line right there. So that might be what that is. And that's cool if that's what that is, because that helps out. And so yeah, I'd say the SPY is getting into that basement area right there, and we'll be watching it tomorrow to dip down some more, I would assume. And you guys know we'll keep it posted at 7 a.m. because we've been nailing it every morning. They're green in the morning. I'm like, nah, I'm not convinced. If I'm not convinced, you know it's coming down. Apple down 730. Luis Rodriguez was just talking about how much this was going to be coming down yesterday, and look at it go. And how about Amazon? That is down $5. It was up a little bit. And again, it's trying to hold itself up, but it probably is going to come into the basement now, because I don't think anything can get held up right now. So I think they're going to be pulling back some more, and that is Amazon. And let's look at our Google. That was down 427, and I think this one's going to take a nice dip. Look, I can't stay up over that support line, and now it's going to be coming down on us. That is Google. It was trying to, but again, we know that pattern. We're sticking to it, and it's been saving us like tremendously, I promise. Meta down $28. Might have to short that down some more tomorrow, because look, it's right under all the support, everything. The next thing's like your 200 day at 568, and they're all coming down to them. So I would assume Meta's coming down as well. Microsoft took a nice dip. I was saying that one was looking like it wanted to dip soon, and that one's coming down. You can see that getting crushed down probably tomorrow. Good old Microsoft. So we'll watch that one probably come down. It's hitting that basement right there. And yeah, that's probably going to be coming into the basement for Microsoft, MSFT. And good old NVIDIA was trying to stay up today, and then boom, it came down, making that curl. And we already know what it's going to do. It's going to come back down on us. It's not curling through there. There's no way it's curling through that. So we already know that. If it does, we'll be amazed. Let's put it that way. And here's our Tesla. What I say, it was going to be like a 6 or 7 banger kind of get through this MACD. Here we go again. It's coming back down, guys. And I don't think it's going up tomorrow. So I think you might come right through this and come down even more. And that is Tesla. And I'm telling you, I'm watching for this bottom, because I am going to load up on some. I think it is going to be a great opportunity, and that's what you're looking for when these things come way down like this. You look for these great opportunities. AMC pulling back, looks like it's going to pull back a little bit more right there. So yeah, AMC looks like it's pulling back. GameStop looks like that one's pulling back as well. It's on the bottom, not really doing a whole lot, it doesn't look like. So yeah, it's on the bottom. That's what that blue line is. That's that bottom line. That's cool. I didn't even know that. So there we go. And Chewy, what's this up to? Down 91 cents, hitting the support line, but probably going to come right through it. And Unity was down. I saw that down today, and that's probably coming down some more. And there you go with them bad boys. And Netflix, that was down $29. And again, I don't think this is getting held up. You might be able to short this down. I know it went up a little in the after hours, but nothing crazy, because this thing is at $8.95. This was just over $1,000 not long ago. So that's coming down pretty good. And that's good old Netflix. And let's see what the rest of these bad boys are doing. Our good old semiconductors, AVGO, Broadcom. It's hitting that line. Who thinks it's getting through right there? Because I don't. AVGO. Yeah, I don't think that's getting through that line. So watch for that one to pull back tomorrow, I would assume. And good old MU was coming down. That was trying to get through. Look at it, guys. You want to see? It was making a hard turn at it, and it just couldn't do it. Has the earnings on the 20th, which would be next week. What are they? Next Thursday, right? Yeah, first day of spring. I think we said that last week. And MU, although that does look good on there in the after hours, 95.73. What's it say here? 95.69. It did get moving in the after hour. We'll look at it tomorrow morning. In the first thing in the morning, we always go through the semiconductors. MU might be able to move up there. It might be one of the few ones. TSM, we knew this was coming down, guys, and it's coming down some more right there. So I think you're going to see that dip down a little bit more. I'm impressed, MU. We're going to look at that bad boy tomorrow. And SMCI, we looked at it. It did exactly what we said it was going to do. And there you go for SMCI and AMD. That one's coming down, and I think you're going to see that one not cross. It's sitting right there in a great spot, too. And again, I just don't think they have it in them. And AMD's probably coming down. Yeah, it's trying to cross through. It's in that spot where it can easily pull itself back, and then that's a wrap for it. So I would say AMD is not getting through right there if I had to guess. And we will look at them tomorrow. QCOM was down. We knew this was coming down. And how about Intel? Intel was actually up today and looking good. Remember this thing, but it's hitting the MACD. I wouldn't chase it now. It could hit that and bounce down. So it did have a nice pop up, but I'd be very careful tomorrow. Just hitting that MACD. It looks good coming off the 20, and maybe it does run up early in the morning. Watch it to be a early morning popper if it can, but I would be very careful with it throughout the day. And good old PayPal looks like that one's trying to pull back here. And yeah, it was trying to cross up there, and I don't think it has it in it. So I think you might be coming down. Yeah, look at that. It's probably going to pull itself right back down, and that's going to get into the basement. And that blue line definitely is that basement line. So that's cool. And PayPal, like I said, coming down. Snow is coming down. We knew that's coming down, and I think it will be continuing its way down. And let's look at Dell, DELL, down 213, and Dell isn't going to make it through either. So that's going to be curling down. And good old PLTR was down $4. And I think this is going to see a bigger dip. And along with Sophie as well, I know that was pulling back some. And again, I just don't think these guys have it in them. They're trying to stay up on the basement lines and stuff, but they are just getting drugged down. And I don't think they're going to be able to keep going. So that is your Sophie, SOFI. And let's see what our Marit and Riot are doing. Marit's down. And again, with Bitcoin and everything, we knew they're just going to be pulling back here. That pulled back good. So does Riot. And they look like they are going to be pulling back pretty good. And remember, I said if MicroStrategy didn't pop today, it was going to come down. Well, CleanSpark was down a little bit. It's sitting right there. And MSTR was up 71 cents. He's holding himself afloat right here. He's holding on for dear life. But again, I just don't think it's there. Not with Bitcoin and everything. So look at this. It curled up, came down, and now it's going back up. And this is where I was saying it had to get moving today. I just don't think it was enough. And I think you might see MicroStrategy have to come down right there. So we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. And our Coinbase we looked at, that was down $14. Looks like it wants to come down some more. And how about DJT? That was down 90 cents and looks like it wants to come down some more. And Fun was even trying to get moving, and it's down 11 cents, but it's fighting itself to stay up there. Mountain ran up, but that's pulling back. That one could be some healthy pullback after the run up. We'll look at Mountain, MTN, Val, and see if it wants to curl up tomorrow off that 20. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it could. McDonald's took that nice dip yesterday and the day before, and that's just pulling back right there to the 50. And I don't know if that's getting held up, MCD. So we'll take a look at McDonald's and see if that can get held up there. I'm not so sure it can, not looking like that. It looks like it wants to free fall kind of down. So we'll look at McDonald's and see. And good old Boeing was up, though. So, yeah, we might have to look at these aerospace and defense, although I don't think Boeing's really going to get moving there. It's just kind of crawling up, and then we kind of know it's going to bounce back down. And it looks like it's going to start bouncing back down tomorrow again. So that is BA. And space, that one was up a little bit today, and I was surprised. And this is another aerospace and defense. So it is trying to cry. Again, I think it might have to pull back there. I don't think it's ready to rock and roll. His space has been disappointing for a while here, Virgin Galactic. And yeah, I'm not so sure that's crossing through. And let's look at IBM here. That was down. We knew that was coming down, and I think that's getting through all these support lines right here. It probably will. I don't see it getting busted back up there, so I would watch IBM try to come down some more. And Disney was pulling back. Looks like it's pulling back a little bit more. And Oxy was pulling down a little bit, and so was ExxonMobil. It was trying to get set up here yesterday and the day before. Look at it, and it crawled through and came right back. So I'll look at ExxonMobil tomorrow. It was kind of baffling to me. Look at this chart right here. Kind of weird, and it could just crawl right back down. So ExxonMobil could come down. Nike was even pulling back, and it looks like it's going to pull back a little bit more. Maybe it tries to bounce off that support line. I'll look at it tomorrow to get a better idea. You can't really tell. It's just kind of hitting there. And let's see what else is going on. DXYZ down 82 cents. It looks like it could have bottomed, but I bet it's going to pull back some more just because we know that pattern. And there you go with our Mag 7 and our SPY, our big caps and all them bad boys. We did our laptop travel, our Jolie's jams, everything else. Crypto, we didn't really have to look at. We went through it real fast. And let's see what else is going on. Tesla's looking at 209. That's what Luis Rodriguez is looking at. Let's see. Yeah, I'm telling you, that thing's going to come down. So I'm with you right there, Luis Rodriguez. We'll short it down there, and then we'll buy it on the way back up. That's for sure. Let me see, Barbara CCLD. So I can still see all that. That's pretty sweet. Here we go. CCLD, aerospace and defense. Yeah, what's the ETF? It's what is that? Shoot. What is the ETF? It's DFEN, DFEN. I can't remember anything. I can remember this. DFEN. Aerospace and defense bull 3 times. Honestly, it don't look like it's ready to rock and roll. So this thing would be jumping off the chart if something was going on right now. I'll run through them later and see what they look like. But I was just amazed that them 3 came off. They must just be hot. I'll look at some of them and see if I pick out any more and see what's going on. How about that Yosh? Remember this one, Luis Rodriguez? That's jumped up there like $3.12 to $18. Look at this thing in the morning, guys. Yosh, YOSH. Check this bad boy out in the morning. That could be a nice little runner right there for momentum. That's for sure. And let's look and see what else is going on over here real quick. We'll look at the active ones and just see what's happening. That's at Sax Parente Golf, but they renamed it to something else. What the hell did they name it? Like Newton? Yeah, Newton Golf. There you go. I'm telling you, it's amazing. NVIDIA, Intel, we looked at all these bad boys. Ford, we've been kind of checked. That chart changed around. I noticed that today. It was way more set up. Remember QBTS? We were looking at these last night. They did look pretty good. And that one did get cruising right there. QBTS, it jumped up and curled through. So I'll keep an eye on them. I'm not so sure they can continue to run, but it did try. ADTX pulling back there. And American Airlines, they've been getting smoked. Look at this thing just straight down at the bottom. Lucid's been pulling back some. And let's look. This HMR has been running up. Wasn't this MGOL or something? And we just looked at it. Yeah, we looked at it yesterday. This was on our list too. And this ran up like 60%. So literally, we've gone through every popper. I know we looked at it because it just merged. Icon was running up there. And let's see what else. STSS, that looked good yesterday. Remember, keep an eye on it. It looks pretty good still. And I remember it was trying to curl up yesterday. Look at it. It looks really good, as a matter of fact. Keep an eye on that STSS tomorrow morning. That could be moving. RGTI was down. That's why I was thinking like not all the computer hardware ones are ready. And this DNN, this one's still down there. Let me see, because I was looking at this one. They had earnings. Maybe this one's getting ready. Look at it trying to cross up here. That could be that bottom right there. We'll take a look at DNN and see what that's up to. It is a uranium company. And let's see what else that happened. Plug. And we've gone through basically all these paths. Was pulling back. And the QQQ is down. Hood we just looked at. So I would say we checked out everything there. I'll just look at over here real quick, see if I see anything. Let me take a look. That RGC, that obviously ran up. CCLD, I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it tried to run up. And BON, let's see, anything else I see that grabs my attention real quick. Let me take a look. This one, Gate, what's this doing? I don't even know what that is. GAT, Marble Gate Acquisition. This is a shell company. And we do like shell companies a lot. They do get moving. So we'll keep an eye on that gate, see if it can open up the gate to move. And check out this one. That one, that's at Aspire Biopharma. That's way down. This one, check this out. MRM. This one, I would keep an eye on this tomorrow as well. Let me jot that down. Look at this thing. This thing. Oh, look at that. In the after hours right there, guys. Can lose my mind. Look at this. 66 cents I'm looking at. It's up at $1.06. It's all the way up here. It's not even close. So there's another one right there. I was going to say, that one looks really good to run. I do pick them out without seeing them, huh? 53 cents to 144. I didn't realize it was all the way up there. And it's at 110. I'd still look at it in the morning and see if it wants to run there. But there you go, MRM. I was like, that one wants to get cruising because it already did. And there you go. Oh, let's see what else. We looked at this Damien this morning. It was trying to move. It came back down. And let me see if I see anything else grabbing my attention. I don't see anything else really that crazy. That CRVO we know. And how about this MGTX right here? Let's see what that's up to. That one's running up. Keep an eye on that. It might get up into the top right there. MGTX. I'll jot that one down real quick. We'll take a look at that bad boy. And there you go with them. Let me look at the news stories real quick. It's already 11 o'clock. I was talking a little in the beginning about the everything else and all the stuff. Futures rise. Dollar up as U.S. shutdown risk eases. Yeah, you know they're not going to shut it down. They'll be opening it up at 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night. The shutdown is looming at midnight tomorrow. Trump and Senate Republicans fail to solve U.S. debt ceiling problem, and S&P 500 futures bounce after benchmark closes in correction territory. Trading day, bears take charge as trade war fears choke recovery hopes, and S&P 500 falls into correction territory as Trump trade wars escalates. Here's what history says could happen next. And we already know what's going to happen every time. It doesn't even matter. And let me go through and look at my stock twits real quick on my app. See what's trending. The QBTS, that's still up right there. Let's look at it real quick. QBTS here. And that is that D wave. It is running up. I would look at it in the morning, guys. Could continue to run. GLD, isn't that gold right there? I think GLD, something like that. Yeah, that's the gold shares, the ETF, and that's running up. So yeah, gold is looking pretty good. What's AAIO? I don't even know what that is. AAIO, Applied Optoelectronics or something. I never even heard of that before. Looks like it ran up in the after hours apparently, but it doesn't show it here. Let me see. AAIO or AAOI. What am I even saying here? AAOI is what it is. Let me X out of these. All right. So it is wrong. 1771 to 3050. I guess my brain's getting tired. And it closed at 2336 right there in that channel. I would take a look at that bad boy in the morning. That one could get cruising still. I mean, it already did, obviously, but it could continue. What else is on here? FNMA's down. DocuSign. I know that one is DocuSign. I know we've looked at this. That looks like it's dipping down. Might have jumped up there in the after hours, it appears. And yeah, we'd have to look at that. Did they just have their earnings on Docu? Yeah, they did. So I'll have to look at that tomorrow. And I still don't think it's ready to get crazy. Apple, RGC, Ulta, isn't that Ulta Beauty? ULTA, I think. What do I just do? Just X out of something, I think. That's all right. Ulta right here, Ulta Beauty, that's up $22 off the earnings. But again, I'm not sure it's going to really get running there. So, we'll have to look at that. Oh, cool. Here we go. So, yeah, that's Ulta right there. And I guess I opened up another window. But yeah, Ulta, I don't think it's really going to get running. I think it was more of an earnings jump. And Dollar General, we were looking at that last night. We were talking about it pumping up because of the chart off the earnings. Again, we don't really play earnings, but look at that thing rolled right off of there. And it did go up today. It went 75.39 to 81.50. It's at 80.15. Keep an eye on Dollar General. It looks like it wants to run up some more tomorrow. So keep an eye on that one as well. And is this Reebok RBRK? I don't even know. No, it's Rubric. I was gonna say, is Reebok even a thing? I have to look. No, I didn't think so. I was gonna say I didn't think that was a stock ticker. RBRK here, Rubric, and that's up in the after hours. And again, another, it looks like earnings run up, but I'm not so sure. And these ones are actually great to short down because they run up on the earnings and they're not really ready to get cruising, so they get smashed down right there. Let me see if I missed anything. CCLD, we definitely did that, right? I looked at that for you, Barb. CareCloud. I don't remember, so let's look at it again because I'm not even sure if I looked at it. CCLD, they do have they had their earnings today, and it looks like it jumped up there, but I'm not so sure it's going to. I think it might be pulling back, so this one might be one to try to short. 175 to 250, and it closed at 157. I think that's going back down. CCLD right there. So yeah, we'll have to look at. I can look at it in the morning, but it looks like it's pulling back there. Let me see if anything else. Let me see if I missed anything over here. TM, what was that? Barbara said she loves the new show. Looking at the charts, says explain them. Fantastic. Awesome. Glad you like it. Yeah, let me know your feedback. Thank you, Barbara, for the feedback. Greatly appreciate it for sure. Toyota Motors, TM right here. Let's see. That looks like it's pulling back to that line in that 20. Let me take a better look at it. TM. Yeah, that one. Oh, wow, that's an interesting one, Luis Rodriguez. High is 188 right there. It's at 183. Is that overnight? Is that running up overnight maybe? Because that's an interesting one because I would say it might roll off that MACD the way it looks. Not promising you, but it could bounce up there. So I'm not sure what that's doing. Toyota TM, but that's one to look at tomorrow just to see. And if it doesn't hold up on there, it's going to be great to short down. So they are great to look at. And find out if they're going to bounce or not. FBGL, let's look at a couple more. Cool. I can see all these comments too. This is great. FBGL still just running down there. I bet it's going to be like a next weeker or take its time right here. Let's see, because this market's just not really letting it get moving, I don't think. FBGL 84 came down to 77, closed at that 84. Has that weird look right there. And again, maybe a little dip and rip, but I don't think so. I think it might stay a little flat tomorrow. We'll look at it tomorrow morning, see what FBGL wants to do. We've been looking at it. CDT, the Conduit Pharmaceuticals. Let's see. That one pulled back a little bit today, huh? It was trying to run up the other day. Look, I think it opened and closed like the same price yesterday. They have that weird look, like you can't tell what the hell's going to happen there. Yeah, you can see it, like 111, 113, and 113, and then it came down to 105, and you're going to see a little pullback on that one, I think. Maybe it's going to bounce off and try to roll back off. We'll have to look at that tomorrow as well, CDT. But that is some good pullback. It looks like it could pull back a little bit more. NIVF, we haven't looked at this in a few days. What's it up to? It was popping up there. Just pulling back, but rolling off that MACD. This one might be a great one to look at tomorrow. NIVF. Might have to look at that tomorrow. Trying to get rolling up right there, not looking too bad, and it's in a good spot right here. The only problem is if it doesn't roll up, it could bounce back down into like another level, how it's doing this, and then bounces down, and then it straightens out, and then bounces down. we'll look at that tomorrow morning as well. NIVF, Barber. So yeah, let me jot them three down real quick. NIVF, the FBGL, and CDT. All ones that we've been watching, but I'll definitely keep an eye on them for sure, and we'll look at them in the morning. Bishop Moore said he missed OSHA. That was like the first one, so you just listen to the whole show, and I'll go back to the first one here. OCEA for you. Here we go. And yeah, this thing's, I was actually impressed that it pulled back. I forgot what it did, but I was kind of impressed it pulled back this much. It was setting up really good, and that might be a dip and rip look. And I think we went through like another one that was doing that dip and rip right after, or maybe it was Buru, I forget, but I kind of remember comparing it to something that had that similar look right there, and that did kind of rip up there. So we will look for that dip and rip right there for OCEA right there, Bishop Moore. And we looked at Al. Al made it. We looked at it. It looked like it was pulling back right there. I don't see anything else right there. Let me see if I see anything else right here. Boom, COST, Sinai wants Costco right here, huh? Let's see what they're up to. Wow, that's a nice pullback. Holy cow, I didn't realize Costco pulled back so much. We might have to short that down tomorrow. I don't think that's ready to get moving either, guys. Holy shit. I didn't even realize Costco was pulling back so much. They just had their earnings on the 6th, and it came way down. It's in the basement. That one might still come down tonight, it looks like. So, yeah, there you go. And the one thing is, I have no idea who's even on, so I'm not sure. Maybe I can figure it out some way. But yeah, I'm really not even sure. Besides who left messages, like Austin and the Ghetto Stoic, Laptop Travel, obviously, and Luis Rodriguez and ANUJ. I don't know how to say your name. And Christopher's on there, and it's like D3V Rider. And Marty's been on, and Luis Rodriguez a bunch of times. Sinai, Barbara's on. So, yeah, I know a few people are on. I greatly appreciate everyone hanging out. I just don't really see exactly how you could tell. And it says a bunch of people are, like, viewing in. So that's really awesome. And anyone new tuning in, I greatly appreciate everybody hanging out. And, yeah, that's what we do every night, 9 p.m. And like I said, we usually get done around 11-ish, 10:30, 11. I was talking a little bit because we're doing a live stream for basically the first time doing the show, the live stream. We always do the spaces, and then I record them and put them up. But now we can play along, and I can see all the messages. It seems like everything's really good and working well. So I definitely like it. So yeah, StreamYard seems to get my approval. And so here we go. Well, like I said, I'll do a regular spaces tomorrow for the pre-market for a Friday show, and then going forward next week, we'll do them all like this. We'll just do live streams and have a good time with it, pick out the winners, and have fun. I told you we were going to take it to another level, and I'd say we're taking it there. We're live streaming and destroying this red market like nobody else is. I promise you. Everybody else seems to be having problems, and we're just having a great old party over here. So if you're not tuning in, or if you know people that are struggling, tell them to listen to the show. And again, check us out 7 a.m. You know I'll be on. It'll be our Friday pre-market show, so we'll end the week right there. And we'll see what's going to be rocking and rolling for our Friday show. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Definitely a fun live stream and show, and I'm going to enjoy doing the live streams. And Sinai says that she likes this, so cool. And yeah, Costco, I'm telling you, let's watch that bad boy drop down some tomorrow, because that looks like it wants to for sure. And let's see what's going on. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything over there. And yeah, I think we got everything. So I would say that's a pretty good market review right there for today. A nice, beautiful red market, just like we thought. Probably going to do the same thing tomorrow is what it looks like. But you guys know we'll go through it at 7 a.m. and we'll point it out. And again, at 7 a.m., sometimes it is green and it's perfectly fine. And yeah, it's perfectly fine if it's green in the morning. We do know that, and we can just look at it and tell if it's going to be pulling back. So we'll definitely know what it's going to do. We've known every single day for the last few weeks and played it accordingly. So there you go, everybody. And thank you very much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Again, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. Always do your due diligence. 7 a.m. tomorrow. I'll post out the spaces link tomorrow, and then after that, going forward for next week, they'll just be up here. I think the YouTube, I can post out a link for it. I did see a YouTube, but I didn't see an X link. I'm going to look into that, see if it does have one. But again, you guys, I think everybody just sees it come up there, and then you just hop on, as from what I understand. So yeah, give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think of the live streaming and everything else. And there you go. So I will see you guys at 7 a.m. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll catch you guys in the morning.